There, we are live. This is the way. Is that the wrong thing?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, really, should I say I am Boba Fett, because that's the catchphrase of that show, but I guess it's, swapped to, I don't know. Or I feel the Force, because the last one was Jedi based.
Spoilers.
Wow. Yeah. Hello, everybody.
Hi, guys.
Well, we know it's not technically the end of the first season, but it is, really. So we're doing this anyway. Especially as they are clearly subdividing the show into batches of sort of 5 and then batches of 10 as sub-stories. So we think it's fair to do a Drunkyards retrospective on the first 10. It was definitely an arc. And, things revealed, things talked about. And obviously you guys decide how we feel by the end of it. And it's always great because we just reviewed the 10th episode. That's the most boozed up one we get to, so therefore we review it in the most different way because, yeah.
Well, 16 likes already. Hit that like button, guys. We got one super chat from Nebula 1701. Puts in $5, which is a drink.
It is. Satisfying. See how these are.
Already, that's fucking great starts. Anyway, he says, just a small thing to add to that Dauntless breakdown video. Those big vents in the back of the Delta saucer remind me of a lot of the USS Relativity.
Yeah. Although it shouldn't, because that ship's really far in the future. But, yes. Yeah, that one's going to be a confusing ship, for sure. But no, our first video, go...
Like the video?
Exactly. Yeah.
I was just going to say that. Go ahead.
Say it then. No, say it, Stuart.
You were going to... No. Rock, paper, scissors.
Okay.
Ready?
1, 2, 3,
go.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, go.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, okay, so yeah. Hopefully you enjoyed our video, guys. Go check it out. It is on the new Dauntless, the Federation version of the Dauntless, and the differences between it and the one we saw in Voyager. So.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I was vaguely nervous about the spoileriness of it, but news articles have already come out all over the place. So if you're into this sort of stuff, you've already seen it, both from this episode and otherwise. And unlike other news articles who will pull a standard definition, sort of close angle of the Dauntless, which made new renders. The only place they can do that. So do go compare and contrast, and in HD because I did HD renders, etc. It's interesting. I've had to comment on a few people saying, it's the same ship. I'm like...
It's not, though.
It's not, though. Like, not at all. It's clever that it's so similar, but also not at all.
All those things.
Yes.
I'd be happy to know I watched almost all of them.
Hey, I was going to ask, yes. How many did you get through?
I just finished Kobayashi. So... I remember all the other ones because we just did them, but glad I rewatched the first couple for sure.
Well, especially as unlike the other seasons, the first four, but actually 5, were a while ago. So, yes, refresh the memory is good, although they're not obviously as complicated as the Discoveries or Picards or such, so there was less to rewatch, but there's still things that you miss. I watched up until... I got past Kobayashi, I watched up until the First Contact, although I skipped the entire First Contact bit because that's just the story of the week. We want to see the stuff that links to other stuff, so I skipped that for 4 minutes and jumped to the end. But I got through 8. No, 7.
Nice.
7, and obviously 8 is time travel.
They're pretty easy to watch. It's a nice, easy watch. It's not, and they're pretty short, so it's like, this is good.
But I'm gonna go get people in. So I obviously want to start talking about this. I'm eager to. But obviously, guys, this will be more fun with more booze. You see the chart? That's up to you. See you in a second.
Yeah, guys, you can super chat to have us drink. We do different drinks here and stuff. Costume change or uniform change. I don't know if I'll be participating in that today, but just do a hashtag Cap Drink or hashtag Sam Drink, depending on who you want to have drink with your super chat. Otherwise, I guess we both will. But anyway, yeah, so support the channel any way you can. Hit that like button. If you want to send a PayPal, you can do that as well. Just send it to trekyards@hotmail.com. Just let us know in the regular chat that you sent that, and we will check the email from PayPal for your comment or question. Because we do want to talk to you guys about this and have some fun and at the same time. So also don't forget to click the subscription button if you haven't. If it's red, that means it's a red alert. You need to hit that button. But don't forget to click the notification bell icon to all so you get notified when we do upload new content and new cool things like our Dauntless video and stuff. So anyway, on that note, well, you can also help us on a monthly basis by clicking that join button. Sorry, I forgot to mention that, as well as going to Patreon/Trekyards. Or there are links down below for like Teesprings and TeePublic. TeePublic has some really great shirts and stuff. Trekyards merchandise, if you want to check it out. We would really appreciate it. But yeah, so welcome back, guys. This should be fun. We got 10 episodes to get through. I'm going to rescore them based on how we feel about them now and see how it matches up with the regular scores and stuff. So it should be fun. So. Yes, Bill, I'm sure they will be releasing another Dauntless, absolutely. Any new ship, they're going to take advantage of that. So even the Titan, they re-released the Titan from Lower Decks, even though they already had a Titan, but it's like more of an animated style. So yeah, there absolutely will be a new Dauntless from Ecomoss, do not fear. This is just the way of things.
I mean, they'll release everything if they can, because it means they can continue longer, etc., etc.
They should be excited for all the new Trek things. I'm sure we're going to be getting a lot of new ships.
Yeah, they were there along with us in the bit between Trek. The new Trek came and we were here too. We stayed around. So, Stuart, what did you think then rewatching overall vibe of the full season 1, part 1?
It's funny when you're watching it and not in a reviewing frame of mind. It's a different vibe. You're not like focused on all the little details, and you kind of overlook one or two things that it's just kind of like, okay, that didn't make much sense, but who cares? So it's just a different feel when you're not a reviewer, and I appreciate that. And we don't really do that because we like watch it, we analyze it, we talk about it, we break it down, and we really get into the meat of it. And when we just rewatch it for this, it's a much different vibe. I think it's more of what a lot of people out there, how they see it. So I can see why some of the things we talk about or, spend 20 minutes talking about can seem nitpicky, because it's just like, it's just fine. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. And like I said, it's an easy watch, especially binging it. This one's really easy and really good. So yeah, really enjoyed it. How about you?
Yeah, sort of like Picard when you're looking back and you're seeing all the threads, how they tied together. So Picard had more threads that it threw in the garbage than this show has at all, So it was more about seeing those small ties. I was kind of surprised actually how few hints and teasers there were. It was extremely close to the chest. There wasn't really anything that we could have seen and been like, oh, that's a hint, he's from the future, besides the things they tell us. So I thought that was quite interesting. It wasn't as deep as it could have been. It is more about the episode itself. The pacing, I think, is very good, and they're very much a watch one and second. They do flow really well together. Even though there's a natural end point to the episode, the next one vaguely carries off. So if you do watch them back to back, it feels as if it's very natural. It does obviously help in the first 5. The first 2 are the same, and then 3 is a direct continuation, and 4 and 5 are the same. So, there's obviously There's obviously a slight drive towards that anyway, the structure. But it's definitely it feels like very much like a burn through it kind of show, because it is simpler than you think it is when you don't analyze it, which isn't a bad thing. It's but it's nice. It's it's less complicated than you think it is.
Yeah.
A Dahl story comes across, I think, a lot stronger second time round, because when you watch it back to back, you feel his direct growth week on week on week. Like, he has a very clear, the A plot of him carries through a lot more. And also, we know then Rok-Tahk's evolvement, their lines then become better at the start because you like them more. That really enhances. Jank and Pod kind of seems like the same like medium character the whole way through, never really grows or does much. Like the same level, kind of quite consistent.
That's why you didn't put him in the thumbnail.
Sure, let's go with that, and not lack of memory. Although Janeway comes across a lot stupider in rewatch, because now we know everything that she got wrong was a legitimate wrong, not a plan. So Janeway's a moron in this show. Absolute diabolical.
She comes across as a program. She comes across as not having anything deeper than that. Because she's sitting there like, I only have access to the low-level systems. What can I do?
Nothing.
What would Janeway do? Clean house. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, so
it definitely... Yeah, I mean, we're projecting our knowledge of Janeway onto her, but we shouldn't overestimate this very basic, very simple, very non-capable program who's just sort of there to be nice, really, and add stuff. These aren't bad things, but it was remarkable how, like, 3 times in the show, the Janeway hologram is overridden to do something else, showing how, you know, and you can throw the hologram away. It's so temporary because it's a hologram. So that came across interestingly. Also, wasn't missing Chakotay as much in the rewatch because, again, we're not hoping for next week. It just burns right through. So it's, a very different experience rewatching it. And I was less annoyed by the Murder Planet stuff because, you know, again, it's just part of a ride. You're not thinking about deeper things,
Oh, we got some super chats.
Excellent.
Let's get into those. 10K throws in $10.
Ooh.
Pizza, good drinks, and Trekyards. Things couldn't be better.
Oh.
Well, it would if I had an Orion Slave Girl. Oh, crap. Did I just write that out loud? # Samuel.
Did I write that out loud?
And then he does another $5 one and says, sorry, I meant # Sam Drink on that last one. Stupid autocorrect.
No, we got what you meant.
Yeah, we got it.
We always get the Sam drink when he gets it, which is more.
Oh, that's a half shot. Oh, by the way, I got this. This is from Croatia. This is cool. Besides a honey drink, which is 23% alcohol drink. The first one for that half shot for Kit 10K is the honey lager.
Okay, reconnected. Herman.
We're still here, guys.
Okay. Hopefully. There we go.
There. Okay, yeah, we're still here. Don't worry, guys. We figured it out.
Hi, Jeff. Good to see you.
Yeah. SVS Guru 2000 throws in €20. Jesus Christ. It's a tragedy that the explicit kids show is the most maturely written of today's Trek. Still slightly prefer Lower Decks, though. Anyways, I'll get you started on the road to complete intoxication. I'm going to try some of that sleeve of it. I love this bottle, though, eh?
Yeah. And what sort of cost was that? Because it looks pretty fancy.
What sort of what, sorry?
How much does that sort of thing cost? Like, how high level booze is it? Looks quite fancy.
It is fancy, and I'm not sure. This is brought over from Croatia, so we shouldn't drink it all in this live. But
no, you shouldn't.
But I'm going to try this plum brandy. It's fucking toxic. Oh.
Well, this is a little bit far. Lower Decks has, poop jokes and, a naked sex orgy. This does not have a naked sex orgy, so in that sense, mature.
That's true.
So I think that's relatively clear. I still think Lower Decks, now rewatching these back to back, Lower Decks is way more deep and layered. Because there really isn't a Jank and Pog sub-story, subline. Whereas there is one from Mariner, Boimler, Tendi, Rutherford, the Captain. Like, they all actually have stories that are kind of through lines. And they all have dimensions. This is far more simple, which it has to be. It's a kid's show, in essence. But I find myself kind of missing that extra element, which makes it such a chill watch, because you can just burn through them and not really think. Just enjoy the shiny. These aren't critiques by any means, but I was definitely missing the Lower Decks. Like, everything is a deep level. This is definitely not that. Especially when you start noticing their reuse of assets, because the assets are much more expensive to create. And so when they go to the murder planet, it's like, well, that rock formation is also there. It's also there. It's also there. It's also there. Oh my god, it's all the same 3 mountains. But it's great. They're very effective. But it's funny to see when you start noticing the reuse of assets.
And I forgot too, I brought these too.
Ooh.
These are each different little flavored ones.
Oh my god.
Peach
Ooh.
tree, which is 15% alcohol. Hi. What?
You're drinking airport booze.
Not really. This didn't come from the airport.
No, it didn't.
Hot damn cinnamon, which is 15% alcohol. Peppermint and peach. There's more upstairs, but those will be shots as well because I'm not drinking all this shit. Anyway,
Stuart's
moving on.
treating everyone here.
Yeah. Kit 10K throws in no, hold on. Graham McGregor, sorry, $20.
There you go.
I'm betting a 20 Prodigy will have a bootstrap paradox somewhere along the way. That what will happen caused what happened. Seeing the drawn circle by John Noble comment cements that idea. Yeah, I've kind of talked about that myself a little bit, and yeah, I think that's fair to say. So let's see. I'll try some of this peach.
Yeah, and we have a super interesting video coming out on Monday, Tuesday about that, and it was a really, really good debate, which I'm sure we'll get into today as well, and probably Monday as well with Sean from Trek Culture. Okay.
There's like 2 shots in one of these things, so this is the peach. That's good.
It's got syrup in it.
I know that would be good in like ginger ale.
It's supposed to be. It's a mix add-on.
I know it is.
You're drinking like pure syrup and alcohol.
It's good stuff.
Screw the mix. That's just wasting time.
All right. Well, with $20 super chats, we got to waste or not waste time. Kit 10K, $5. Hey, Cap, don't forget about my Trekyards challenge. # Cap Drink. Yes. Where is it here? Yes. Okay, here's his rules.
Oh, my goodness.
1, he will keep track of the super chats and match the highest amount at the end of the live. Any and all amounts will count. 3, any super chats that I myself put in will not count towards the highest amount. 4, if there is a tie in the highest amount, I will match that amount just once. And 5, at the end of the video, I will match and beat any super chat under $50. If they go over 50, I will just match it. So there are the rules. So
I mean, Kit
you'll
is
pay attention to the rules because I won't be able to.
Kit is the cherry on top of this live. So,
Yeah.
Being at the end, like, oh my goodness, wow, what a great thing. Yeah, incredible. Yeah, I did my.
This one, that's the other thing that I'm drinking as the regular drink is just white peach vodka and soda.
Oh yes, big question. Have you eaten today? Have you learned?
I'll never tell. Moving on.
Oh no.
General Grievous.
You're gonna
$5.
guys. You're gonna really screw Stuart.
Maybe I already did eat it. I'm just not gonna tell you.
Oof.
General Grievous, $5. What's that you're drinking, Sam? Orange juice? This is my tragic demise we're talking about at last break out of brandy. At last break out of brandy. Oh, just kidding. He's having a screwdriver, basically.
Yes, because vodka is a clean booze for me. And then my other was the lovely strawberries and cream. I was able to fully find at the store, which is great. Hard to find.
Paul Thomas, £5.
Oh.
My theory, Gwen will recover her memories, Dal will reverse course, Janeway and the Protostar will cause the first contact that Diviner wanted to prevent. It's a good guess, actually. Cheers, I like that.
The problem with that, though, is that there would be clear records of who made first contact with the Diviner's planet, which he would also know as the guy who's then sent to stop it. So the Protostar can't have made first contact first time around, otherwise he would know, wow, my daughter was on the ship, sent back, that would be too much of, you can't give that secret from the, we're going to change history sort of event. So that would be changing time to make that ship now the first contact ship, which is fine conceptually, but that changes time anyway. I think we both said that she'll have to go back home at some point. Because now, honestly, this has become a story of... Yeah, you do, General. This show has now become a story of, well, now we need to save their planet. Because we know the planet's going to get decimated, and I'm sure if Starfleet was more engaged in helping them as a culture, they might be able to work with them so they don't annihilate themselves. That's a planet's deaths on, not necessarily Starfleet's hands or conscience, but a result of. But I mean, I'm sure that's happened, let's be fair, to several planets around the time,
Yeah. Like I think Paul might be on the right track, kind of. But yeah, I like your thinking too that that's their goal now is to prevent that from happening to the planet. So
Yeah, because it's a big old thing to do, and a first contact where you can actually have one of their own species warp in and say hey is much easier first contact to swallow than a big Starfleet ship saying hello, etc. But
well, Paul Thomas says that's true, but the diviner also seemed oddly familiar with the protostar when he boarded it for the quote first time. But we didn't see him board it for the first time. We saw Dreadnought coming through the door, which means the diviner was probably with him. We didn't see what happened, and then we see where he gets it in the murder planet one. And yeah, he's already been on board, so already knows about it. So we didn't see the first time. We saw our first time.
Yeah, in second rewatch, in rewatch, it's super clear that that's his ship. Like he owns it, he's used it, he knows it, he's flown it, he's pro-star with it. Like that's his ship. He's happened to have lost it. Mm-hmm. This is him regaining his ship. In the sense of you steal it first, it's your ship. So. That's by no means his first time. He treats it very much like a tool that he's, And in fact, there's one dialogue piece in. I guess I'll bring it up now because I might not remember which episode it's in because obviously I only have the thumbnails for the. There's one line that really stood out to me this time round. Now we know the actual backstory, and it's in the episode where we see the 17 years ago flashback, which is one of the biggest moments of the entire show. And the dialogue is so minimal, but I'm obviously just rewatched it. They say. Many have failed before us, for many years before. So Diviner, he might, very possible he went back in time 500 years or something. His dad's dad, he's dying of old age, clearly, and he's being only healed by advanced technology. But they were very explicit. Many before us have tried to find the ship and failed.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a code. Well, why the code exists if you just went back in time and...
The order.
Yeah. So I'm really kind of inclined almost to think that his mum took him back in time and Prostar went back like E2 went back like 100 years or way more. That'd be really interesting. If how can you save the planet if it's back to the 1800s? It's like well, damn, we gotta wait a long time. We want to find it first. They don't even know they're on the planet. It's like when they go to Tarsmore and start mining, they don't even know it's there. He thinks it is, but there's a very hesitancy there. So it isn't just literal. The diviner found the protostar and went back in time. It's no. It's way more than that. From that one episode, way deeper.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting they use the term the order because the order can literally be a direct order from someone, or it can also be an order as a group of people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's the way it's used in context. It could be either or. We don't know. So
it feels like an order of time traveling, people who are sent back to find the protostar. Maybe he had 5 ships. Maybe he was sent back, and there was, 5 of him. He was the youngest sibling, youngest son. He spent the last 100 years doing it, etc. And Dreadnought has been there to look after all of his family. And he saw how the familial bonds don't quite help. And I thought, the last one. But I was really taken aback by how old he feels, and he's in so little of it. I mean, would you like that if that was a reveal that his dad started it? He was a child when they went back in time, etc.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like the telephone game. Things get lost over the course of passing the message along. So it could be something that kind of got lost in translation, lost in transmission.
We've also we've had talked about that. Someone points out why are we trusting him, and that would certainly be especially if because Voyager was such that 75 years to travel. What if his granddad went back in time, that was their order, their mission. Well, they were in order, the last family that survived, and they were warping to try and find the protostar, and that's why it took so long, because they were traveling kind of like a generation ship, and they were chasing after it, or maybe the protostar was sent automatic and it can only be at warp or something. But it definitely would change that drastically.
SUS Guru 2000 puts in €20, so thank you so much. After rewatching episode 10, I don't think they left him on the asteroid. You can clearly see lava streams around him, and don't remember those from previous shots of the asteroid. I think they put him on the holodeck. I don't think they put him on the holodeck. I really don't. I don't agree with that at all.
Yeah,
no, have a shot.
Yeah, there were totally lava streams in episode 1. There wasn't many of them, but there was totally magma flowing in some areas. There was waterfalls, glowing rocks, normal rocks. I think there was magma as well. Like in some of the very, very first shots of the episode.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, you're right. There was. But cheers. This is more of that peach stuff.
But yeah, that's what it felt more grand to me. But also, again, this is a show where they've got 40 episode story, and it doesn't feel like they're going to burn through everything within 30 episodes. But it's, you know, and in fact, we might even see something whereby his sister is in the beta quadrant looking over there. They all sprout a different quadrant each, trying to find the protostar. And so we end up meeting one of them.
It's a family scavenger hunt.
Yeah, well, I mean, makes sense. You know, you're the one group that was off world when the planet bombed itself. You've got one ship. You spend 10 years building new ships. Your parents go mad trying to go back in time, etc. I don't know. It has the fact they just completely burned through the Diviner storyline in one fourth tells me that there's way more to it. And you even said how we might see the actual Diviner again in the present day because age is relative. He's obviously over 50, so he very much could be alive also in the present on the planet. Anyway, so we might see John Noble as a young version, which would be kind of cool. But also we know that Gwen's a clone, even if a clone with modified DNA. So maybe multiples of clones, and he just thought, well, I'll make a daughter just to make something different, etc. So there's I wouldn't say implied. I would say these tiny hints of a much grander plan that isn't just this guy went back in time. It's not Nero from 09. Or is that just be 09 again? You know?
Yeah, I'm sure we're going to see the Diviner again in some form, but I really don't think they have him on the ship. I think that would be stupid, and why have him on the holodeck? Why waste resources? Why waste energy? Why waste the holodeck? Just put him in the fucking brig. It just doesn't make sense to have him on the ship. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, it does if you're taking Federation to kind of stand trial, but they're not doing that. They know where he is. They know he's relatively safe, that he can't escape, etc. Although, you know, that Kazon guy might come back and be like, oh my god, what happened? One life sign. Oh my god, it's the boss. Hi, boss.
It's the boss.
He's crazy. Oh my god. Well, I feel like he might heal from that because Gwen healed from her broken leg in about half a day. So I wouldn't be surprised if he can just heal from that. You know, it's not implied they're necessarily technologically advanced species, but they have a different connection to their bodies and living material. So I would be absolutely fine with him healing over time, as Gwen might as well. It's kind of simple MacGuffin, but, you know. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that's the thing that concerns me too, is the fact that he's, wherever they have him, he doesn't have his Healy regeneration suit with the piping stuff, so...
He should be dying and starving. Well, but it's John Noble, you know.
I suppose. Let's see. Fry Minis, $5. Hashtag Sam Drink. FMK Star Trek Captains. Oh my god. Well, you need to give us the names. We're not going to just come up with some names for F, Mary, Kill. Got to give us some captain names. Paul Thomas, £2. Oh, I need a drink. That was Sam Drink. £2. Star Trek Prodigy, Diviner Family Day Out. Yes, the Diviner Family Picnic.
And Bill asks, have we seen the ProStar's Captain's Yacht yet? Why would it have a Captain's Yacht? Hasn't even got any shuttles.
Yeah. No. No.
It makes shuttles. Hasn't got shuttles.
No.
Alright, so we'll jump into episode 1 then. Now, do we combine episode 1 and 2 together, or just episode 1 by itself?
To put them together.
Episode 1 and 2, Stuart. What do you think in rewatching episodes 1 and 2?
It was a good kickoff for sure. Probably my least favorite part was the first part. Like it felt very Star Wars. It really did, compared to what we get later on as well. But other than that, I mean, finding the ship, repairing the shield emitters, like there's a lot of cool little moments, and there's a lot of things that come back in the last episode. Like Jank and Pog was hitting the ship to fix it, and the percussive maintenance. that was mentioned in the last episode. I'm glad that there's more to you than just percussive maintenance, is what Rock says to him, which is fantastic. There's a few little callbacks like that from the first or second episodes that come back later, but overall pretty good. Like I said, if you break it up into parts 1 and 2, part 1, just getting everything established, but that's what part 1 does, so it's fine. But part 2 I think was really good when they escape. Dreadnought trying to stop them, and them busting out and shooting everything, the pew pew button. Like, there was some really good moments for sure. So it was a good kickoff to a series. But yeah, that first episode, there's nothing wrong with it. It's really good, but the pacing's fantastic and everything. But I don't know, compared to all the other ones, it's just kind of like, it's just the establishment. It's fine. So I enjoyed it though. I enjoyed both parts 1 and 2.
Any highlight moments you thought were just like the best of the two, like very quick moments?
Yeah, nothing's really coming to mind. Like I said, Dreadnought transforming for the first time and shooting the ship and things like that were pretty cool.
The only time.
Yeah, shut up. Anyway, just Rock's character, like when she couldn't understand her, to when you can, and she's trying to be nice, even though she seems all gruff. Yeah, there's nothing that really stands out in the first one that I can think of offhand. Like, literally watched it like 2 hours ago, but still.
Yeah.
I'm sure there might be something that'll pop into my head a little bit later, but I just honestly, now that I'm on the spot, I can't think of anything.
Sure, no, that's fine. Just I didn't know if anything was just instant. Fair enough.
Not really. How about you?
Yeah, no, it's I found myself wanting the first episode to have been more compressed in terms of the nonsense of all the extra stuff, because now we've learned the Diviner isn't all that, and Dreadnought isn't all that. Yeah, exactly. I kind of wish we'd skipped a little bit of that stuff, because that chase at the start is very long. It's very, very long. It's a good 5-6 minutes of the entire episode, and Dahl has no plan, and so it comes across a dumb kid, and therefore if that is the only point of it, it's too long, I think. While the pace is good in terms of it's fun to watch, it's too much of the episode to be worth the time spent on it, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does.
I was also surprised how much Dahl and Gwen knew each other but didn't. I think they played both sides of the coin there, both the, well, he's just a slave versus, oh, you've hung out a few times. They didn't make that clear, and it really was never brought back up. So I thought that was a poor choice of pacing. You either, oh yeah, he's been in trouble every 5 weeks and I've always seen him. Something that was a bit more solid. I mean, we might get flashbacks in season 2 or 3, whatever. But that I thought was that didn't ever really play again, and it felt odd in the context. But I liked how Gwen was supportive of the Diviner. That I liked the first time. I liked it more this time because, the clone, only known that. We know she was born here, started here. That was interesting to the context-wise, and she was with him for so much of the story. It still came across plot holey, and the whole season, in fact, the plot holes were very strong. Like, that is just a full-on. You have a kids show that's 23 minutes. You're just gonna say F it, plot hole, and there's a one of those every episode pretty much. And the first two have a couple. I just like glaring like. That was either you had no choice or a glaring omission. Just like my thumbnail. I just plot holed it. A glaring omission. It happens. Because the way they find the protostar is so stupid and contrived. It should have been any other way. They laser beam a rock face, a big cavern, and a rock falls on them, killing Dahl because Rocktalk is clearly too far away to protect him. So Dahl's dead. Dahl is now dead. And then all of a sudden, once the rocks come off them, they're in a completely different place. It's a terrible sequence. It's absolutely awful. And all they had to do was just have the rock go down, rock would already be there, and then the whole ground go bump down. One shot could have fixed it. It was a really terrible piece of thing.
Well, just the whole location of where the ship was and how they hadn't found it yet. It's just behind a waterfall is just silly.
Terrible.
Beyond silly.
Yeah, it really comes across even worse. especially when you spend that much time on the chase and you then burn through finding the ship, is very, very poor.
17 years of looking. Well, he didn't look very well.
Well, he was literally, the divine was a few meters away. That's the irony. He was that close.
Yeah.
But also it comes across too much. There's the way they fly through the mining caves and such. He put a lot of money and time into building a mining colony. Like, he could have just kept like bombing the surface to find the ship. Like, there are other ways to find the ship that would have taken 17 years, you know? But he literally just mined the shit out of that thing, building with infrastructure and stuff. That came across a bit too full on, as if that was his main purpose. But it was all he had was a ship, and he landed there and said, "Oh, I'm gonna buy some slaves to mine it." You know what I mean? The transition from the start of his journey to where he got feels less connective now. I've seen the whole season, and for him to be so passive also feels odd. This is the savior of his race, where every minute he might be changing the future. He's chilling in his big Tron style, cylinder of big talky person. That's a disconnect as well. And I know he's got complacent, and so is Dreadnought. I get that. It's been a long time, but there's no hunger in the character in the first couple of, this will save 7 billion of my people. I've already wasted 50. That not at all there. So I didn't like that. That definitely didn't work well. But it worked better first time because you're like, oh, he's evil, So that retrospect doesn't work as well. And so he's Dreadnought, and he's so pussy now. He's so, who cares now?
Yeah, Dreadnought, that's one thing I regret watching these first few again, because there's so many moments where he's like badass. He points the gun at them on the murder planet, and it's like, you're menacing, and then you get killed. The way you get killed just ruins your whole character. Sorry.
Yep.
But the Diviner, even on the same episode with the murder planet where he gets the ship for the first time, and Gwen's calling to him for help, you can see the look on his face. Like, he does want to save Gwen.
100%.
But he knows that he has to get that ship first. Mm-hmm. And you can kind of understand his motivations.
Oh, we'll get there when we get there. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
The sci-fi one throws in £1, so thank you so much.
I'll take some water for that.
Yeah. SBS Guru 2000 puts in €5. FMK, Picard, Cisco, Freeman. Well, that's easy. F. Freeman. I don't want to kill either one of the other ones, though. I'd marry them both. Can I F. Freeman and then kill her? And then marry the other two? I don't know. That's cruel. You can't ask. You can't. No.
I'll F Freeman because of the genderness of it.
Yes.
I'll kill Cisco because he's too much of a threat to the galaxy.
Oh. Okay.
And I'll marry Picard because he's a nice guy.
I was thinking he's a sweetheart, isn't he?
Just out of the two of them, come on, you gotta kill the guy that tries to genocide the whole planet. Whereas Picard chooses not to genocide a whole species.
True. Okay, well, there you go. He has a better answer than I do. Yeah. Kit 10K puts in $10.
Hey,
Samuel.
Hey.
Do you know the exact count of ships on your ship chart behind you? I was just curious. #SamDrink, #CapDrink. And somebody asked, too, if the Protostar is up there yet.
Well, I need a 3D model of it, so no. But I'd love to, but we haven't got one. It's in the 120 to 150 range. Yeah.
Hold on 1 second. I just got to text.
Okay. So yeah, it's pretty high. Let's see.
Anyway, I'm back. So.
Yeah. But I think they're a really good start to the show, although they don't reflect the tone of the rest of the show, which is an odd thing to rewatch. Like I say, I wish the first episode was half as much chase, more Diviner, the Protostar stuff. I thought Rock Talk really shone through better the second watch. Knowing the development, really every line of hers felt so deliberate and strong.
Mm-hmm.
Although I also kept thinking, this ship is from the future. They don't, and Rock Talk, Dragon Pog's like, oh, you've seen one ship, you've seen them all. Would have been lovely to have had a moment where they say, I haven't seen material like this. You know, like it's from the future. It's a very, very special ship that's amazing, and yet, you know, although I felt better watching it now knowing. Well, I'll get into that later. Oh god, the episode 2. So the escape was actually, although I noticed they didn't use the proper phaser sound effect they used later on.
Yeah, I noticed that too. Like the Rev 12s is much more accurate in the last episode.
Yeah.
But new advanced phasers or something that was on the Protostar is fine.
Well, but then they swapped back to the real Protostar phasers the next episode. So it was odd that the art team didn't know that. And I still thought the outside the whole stuff was silly. Although then, you know, like I don't buy really on a TNG era ship. There are cylindrical tubes with glowing laser lights in them that are your shield emitter energy. No. That's future tech. That isn't... Rick Sturback didn't design that in his Prometheus class. You know? No. It's fine. It's just more future things. And I also did like, again, how they say, oh, basically give up on Dahl. Although I noticed, why the hell is he the only person not wearing a spacesuit? Him and Rock Talk. Every other person is wearing a life support suit. Not him. Why?
Not who?
Dahl and Rock Talk are not wearing any sort of environmental suit when they're in the mine originally. Everyone else is.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well,
why?
That's a good question.
They clearly don't need them. It can't be only his...
Jenkin-Pog wasn't either.
And Jenkin-Pog. Yeah, and Jenkin-Pog.
Jenkin-Pog makes sense because he's working on a ship in a different part of the mine. The miners that are doing hard, dangerous work, I understand them wearing them. Rock Talk might not need one because of the structure of her body.
Yeah.
Dal, though, I don't know. Maybe he used his suit too many times to, like, run through lava or something to try to escape. And they're like, you're not wearing a suit now. We're taking the suit away from you.
That's your 19th of suit. We spent enough on you, babe.
Would be my guess. And I figured out why Zero is named Zero. That's Prisoner Zero. It's the first prisoner they captured. They even say so. Prisoner Zero is what it's called. Zero is called.
Oh.
That's why Zero's. And then you see Zero like being used to like make the other prisoners go insane. So yeah, the first prisoner, I guess. So anyway, yeah. But I don't know why Dal wouldn't necessarily have a suit. My guess is he tried to escape too many times, and they're like, you don't get a suit now because you've used it to your benefit somehow. Maybe.
Yeah, my assumption is because we want our heroes to be clearly visible. Everyone else is a background. Who cares? But it felt really odd that he should have been in it in the first scene and then got out of it, because either the air is fine to breathe or it's not. And I don't know why everyone else being in spacesuits just all the time at every single scene. So that I thought was a bit of a dumb... He just stood out more, you know?
Yeah. Did you notice that a lot of the prisoners were the same ones from the last episode?
Mm. Yeah.
Which is nice.
Like the first scene has a guy... Oh, yeah, it's that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I still left wanting the obviousness of... They should have just had every single alien we see be someone from Voyager and Alpha Quadrant. That was their chance to have a pantheon of aliens we know. Because it's a prison planet pulling fuel from the Alpha and Gamma and Delta and Beta quadrants. Like, that's their chance to have all these races just mulling about. Like, oh my god, there's all these things. I know it's cheaper to do spacesuits. Fine, I get it. Because then you can have, the same 5 spacesuits around everywhere. I get that. But they missed a big opportunity there of just having all the races be familiar. Because it would have made us feel way more sympathetic for them. Because, like, oh my god, wow, the Kazon stole a Breen. Wow, Kazon stole a Hirogen. That, I think, would have worked a lot stronger for that. And it could be anybody from anywhere. That's kind of... in 17 years, you can travel a long way in 17 years. Whichever. Especially as people are clearly selling people to them as well. I mean, the Ferengi lady, she went 4,000 light years. Like, she literally went 4,000 miles away from the prison. So, hell. We'll get into that.
Yeah.
Anything else? Oh, and also, why did the Divine doesn't really do much to try and grab the ship at the end? Once it escapes, they play as, and they're gone. It's like, but the ship could just open fire or tractor beam or do something. There was a big disconnect of, and now we're free after we leave the mine. It's like,
he's still in his tank though. He doesn't start pursuing them until he gets out of the tank. So maybe that's the reason. He's just not prepared to leave.
He can still give orders though.
Yeah, but maybe I don't know. That's the only thing.
Activate a tractor beam. Grab the proto stuff.
Yeah. General Grievous, $5. What do you mean I'm not in that episode, Sam? All right, wise guy. Have another sip of your Cosmo. I'm going to collect your phasers and sabers.
Oh no, I like my phasers and sabers.
Fry Minis, $2. Add a DS9 character to Prodigy. Who and why them?
No, do you mean
Lita?
Oh,
Lita, because
maybe should we
look at Lita, and she's kind of like young and naive when we first meet her, kind of like these guys. So, or Nog, add Nog.
That's
or,
a bit harder to
Jake.
do.
Yeah.
I like that though. I like having the idea of, because then you could have what's his name? You could have him talk to the Frankie lady.
Yeah.
So, on that final note then, what is your scores, your retrospective scores for episode 1 plus 2 together, because it's all one big oomph.
So you just want one score for 2?
That's how we did it the first time?
Both of them? Okay. I'm going to say 7.5.
Okay. I'm going to say 6.8.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, there's plot holes and, stuff doesn't quite pay off like you think.
Plot holes aplenty, yeah.
It's definitely the weakest in plot holes in the entire set. Yeah, I don't know, yeah. Put it this way, there are better episodes. So.
Yeah.
Alright, cool. Episode 2, which is actually 3, but this is my thumbnail still. The Star one, Starstruck. Your thoughts on retrospect of the one where they almost fly into a dying star.
Again, so many plot holes in that one. From dumping all the cargo, launching all the escape pods. There's a lot of issues with that kind of stuff. But overall, kind of. Again, that one Janeway doesn't look as stupid, because the first time it looks like a program, because the first time we're like, why would she let them do that? Well, she's not. She has no control. She hasn't suggested to the captain she should be doing this. She'd be doing this every 5 seconds. She's like, this is where you are. This is, you came to investigate it probably because we're Starfleet. Cool. It's dangerous, but hey. So, what else happened in this one? They put Gwen in the brig. Gwen tries to escape in an escape pod. Replicates. Oh, the vehicle replicator introduction. That was a cool thing as well. The whole them not understanding the ship, transfer all power, so the brig goes down. And this time I didn't have a problem with that, because it is such a small ship. If you're asking for all the power reserves, I don't see the problem with the brig going down if it's a direct request from the bridge, like all power, boom. So I know we kind of harped on that the first time, and this time watching it I was like, it doesn't bother me really. So it was a good episode. Them escaping from the sun was all right. But again, this was at that point where we're like, what about that special transformation drive? Will we ever see it? I want to see it in this one. Would it make sense? No. Yeah, I don't know. This one was just kind of all right. Not a lot happened in the grand scheme of things, but there are a lot of things that happened that didn't make sense. Like I said, dumping all the cargo, getting rid of the escape pods. Yet the escape pod hatches are still there. I guess they open and close, but you need escape pods. Please replicate more. It just bothers me. But vehicle replicator was a neat introduction. So, yeah, I thought it was.
And don't give scores until I do mine, though.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Trying to think of anything else to talk about with that one. I might have something that when you talk about it to jump off of, but yeah. So, what about you?
I think I liked it more the second time, honestly, because it's the transitional movie, transitional episode. It's very much the storm between the calms between the storm.
Yeah, no, I can see that. Yeah, literal storm too.
Yeah, it's ostensibly a meaningless middle, while the meaninglessness of the story is the meaning, is that it's the oomph af learn through fire together. And in retrospect, you know nothing important is going to happen. Grand scheme, so you're not looking for anything at all. So everything is more about the character. So I definitely enjoyed the pace a lot more. I thought it was good in that respect. I liked the total lack of ability from everybody. It's quite fun and refreshing. Janeway, again, comes off stupid because an initial program should not allow the captain to kill the crew and not allow herself to be shushed, knowing that she's going to kill the crew. Again, stupid. Now, she can start to talk and say, actually, and he turns her off. But she sort of accepts being turned off. And it's like, I blame Janeway for that. You know, the reason we started is because of Janeway. So but Janeway's bad often, so whatever. Gwen was interesting, the tone of that, the rock talk to her to, you know, how did you let your dad do this? Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah.
That was good. Gwen's an interesting arc in this. She's still fully committed and yet not. The escape, I mean, that I don't buy for a second. Divert all power means all power from everything that is important to the mission you're doing. That's not what I ever take all power as. All power means all available power. If you've got a prison ship, divert all power does not mean release all the prisoners. Because there are safety protocols.
Well, there's a differentiation between divert all power and divert all available power. Because anything that's already allotted to, like, force fields and, you know, the brig that's used, that's not available. There's a difference there. And depending on the wording, it could be like the episode, like elementary measure data, where just a little slight wording issue.
Oh, yeah. I mean, but that just speaks to bad. But that speaks to bad.
Because he does say all power.
Oh yeah, but that's when Janeway. So we've seen often Janeway will say, real Janeway will say, divert all power. Like, does that mean all sort of showers go out, all the holodeck?
Well,
you know, does that?
No, she's talking to trained officers though. They know what they can divert and what they can't. You know, so.
But there are buttons.
Exactly, and Jane Compog didn't know what the hell he was doing. All power means all power. So you could put the slider all the way to the top. All power. Instead of like, well,
okay.
95%, because we're a trained officer. That's what we're supposed to do. Unless we're overrid by the captain. You know what I mean? Like.
Okay, so
there's training procedures.
No,
like you have.
I just
have limits of things you can do. So
I just feel like there's very much, you know, there are systems where the security nature of them mean they aren't turned off. There's a block to them. You know, you don't turn the shields off next to a sun because the ship wouldn't let you, because otherwise it would burn and be destroyed. In seconds, the ship should have been damaged. It was remarkable it was able to be that close. Speaking to the advanced futureness of the ship. I do agree, yeah, if that's Jankum, I can't assume it's the computer doing it, to be honest, but if Jankum's doing it, fine. Or Zero, they didn't know anything. But Jankum's an engineer who does know stuff about ships. Zero is a incredibly old, intelligent being who knows ships. So them both doing all power is also just them being stupid. But
I think Jankum pretends to know everything. He's a tinkerer that's like, I'm an engineer. Yeah.
I don't know if you agree, but he did seem stupid in second watch. Like, he's not really an engineer. He's a guy. He's a tinkerer.
Like they said, progressive maintenance. Just hit it till it works, because that's what he was doing with the. You know.
Yeah, which was funny, I thought, in the rewatch. He doesn't really do that much fixing. He's just kind of there.
yeah, exactly.
Superchats, Jet.
So, was this the... Hold on, before we get to that, though, was this the one with the replicator, or was that in the first or second one? With the replicated meal, where we find out that Rock Talk has never eaten anything
that was
else.
here.
Like, she's...
That was it.
Yeah. That was another important one of this episode, because you'll learn that she's been on that prison facility as long as she remembers, at least. So... That's sad. Which is
I still think great, that the reason she has all this potential intelligence but never had to learn anything from anybody, couldn't even talk to anybody. Conceivably, her rock parents died when she was 1, only eating the food and never even talked to anybody. So all the potential in the world there, but never had any ability to work with it, which I thought was very very apt. I did think the speech from Jane was very good, although the discovery still bothers me because it doesn't make any sense. Or the crossfire doesn't make any sense. But the speech itself is lovely.
She doesn't say, I paid attention, she does not say the most important ships in Starfleet. She's just talking about Starfleet.
Oh, yeah.
Those ships are there. So.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's a Gallo 7 shuttle, or Gallo 6, whichever, and a Voyager variant shuttle. I mean, there's weird
Maybe
things.
They're the most researched or looked up...
Most Googled.
Ships on Google, yeah, on the Federation database.
Why is the ship classified with no information? It comes up with the picture of the ship.
Whatever happened to the original crossfield design?
What is the crossfield? Well, this ship. No. Yeah.
Just search results. That's all it is.
Yeah. Or maybe it's Trekyards search history.
Maybe he's looking for a way to get home that didn't involve the protostar, so he started getting into some clandestine research
He
and
hacked
found
into
out
the classified stuff. Yeah.
a few breadcrumbs here and there. That's actually a good answer to that question, by the way. I know you were saying it just tongue in cheek, but that's a good one. Let's get to the super chats real quick. Fry Minis, $2.
Thank you.
Good pick with Nog as first officer of the Dauntless? Question mark. Yeah, Nog would just be a good fit with these kids.
Yeah.
Fair. Kit 10K throws in $10.
Thank you.
I'm curious as to what you guys think if we're going to feature Odo and or Nog in any shows. Do you think they should recast the roles or leave the characters be and basically retire the characters? Retire them, I think. I don't want a lot of people recast, especially if you got the original actors for the other roles. Don't recast somebody. I know Star Trek's done that once or twice, but it's not with a main character. If you're going to do that, just do a reboot and have everybody recast. You know what I mean? That's kind of my thought. How about you?
So I was really an oval thing. What was the question?
About recasting Odo or Nog if they do anything else, or would you just prefer they not use the characters?
I mean, they're not as good as the originals, and then you can kind of exploit the journeys a little bit. I would be fine with not using them, but yeah.
Have them mentioned, but
yeah.
I don't want recasting though, especially like I said, if the original cast is back for their roles. No, but if you're rebooting it and recasting everybody,
but it's tricky because once we lose Shatner and Takei and Koenig, it's like I'd still want to see Sulu used, in Lower Deck Season 9. Well, it's not. But you're not future problems. It's like saying once they're dead, they're dead.
Yeah, but in Lower Decks it's animated, so it doesn't matter. He's talking about live action. Would you recast as somebody else?
Oh, I thought you meant in this show.
No.
Well,
maybe.
I mean, 8 times out of 10 not recast. But the thing is, with Mandalorian and Boba Fett, I mean, they can do a CGI face and then do a voice double. I'd rather have limitedly used, respectfully added cameo in that way than recast. I know it limits what you can do, but Ethan Peck is not as good Spock as Nimoy.
Well, those limits that they can do are just quickly falling by the wayside as technology gets better and better. So
yes,
yeah. Kit 10K puts in $5. I think they should leave them. # capturing Cassandra. Let's see what do we got here. SPS Guru 2000, €10.
Bang.
You don't really want to put hardlock functions behind child safeties. A trained crew would want all options available. It's the reason why 3-round bursts never really caught on versus full auto. He's talking about guns, obviously.
Yeah.
Because there's that single fire, 3-shot, and full auto. I never use the 3-shot in any of my games.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh, I need to have a.
Yeah, I don't like 3-round burst either. I don't see the point of it really. It's fun in Halo, but because it's kind of a different thing.
There's 1 or 2 situations where it's handy, but
I kind of prefer single shot having that control. Actually, weirdly enough.
Chances are with a 3-shot burst, if you miss the first one, the other 2 aren't going to hit. Whereas if you do single shot, you're actually making adjustments.
That's very true.
Just saying.
Yeah,
just saying.
A miss is a miss. Yeah, well said.
All right. Guys, hit that like button. We have 56 likes. Let's try to get that number up to 100. I don't know if we can do it with 53 people, but hey, let's just give it a shot. If you haven't hit like yet, hit that like button.
I'm going to start a poll as well.
Ooh, a drunk poll. If you want to super chat and contribute to the drinking, I've already finished off of this. I'm almost finished this. Oh my god, this is half full. So feeling good, feeling fine. But yeah. Thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate you guys.
We do. And I just put a poll of which ones. It's episode 3 right now, and it says 2, but again, it's got sort of screws the naming convention. But which of the first 3 did you most enjoy? Vote now. So we're still on the sun one then. I do think that the CGI shots at the end, it's all CGI, but the end stuff where they escape the sun was both really nice and some really bad shots. There's some weird angles of the ship's like going like that, and then it.
Yeah, I think they did that because of gravity. The gravity well from the.
Yeah, I get the possibleness there, but it kind of jumped forward, but not at warp, but stretched. So I thought they misstepped us on the visuals there a little bit. We also look at that as being they're at warp, but they're not, etc., etc. And they can basically skim the surface of the sun with shields, and there's no like heat on the ship. There's no sense of danger whatsoever. It's remarkably fine. But yeah, if the ship's from 2450, okay, I'll accept that, which presumably it is. So, and it was fun to kind of see the learning curve of them not knowing how to use the ship at all. Now, the vehicle replicator didn't annoy me as much the second time because it's so minimally used. I kind of assumed it'd be a plot point, but it was so minimal to the point of almost irrelevancy. That's kind of a gimmick in the first few, so that I liked it the second time more. I love the foreshadowing of the anti-gravity scene from the last episode. That I thought was a nice touch. And I liked... again, foreshadowing of Roktok being forced to be security even though she's science. I thought that was nice again in this. Well, that was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's it for this one. But I enjoyed it more the second time. I don't know what I get the first time, so I might be saying that in bullshit. Yeah. But there you go. What do you review score for episode 3? Starstruck.
Knowing me, I probably scored this one a little bit higher than the other.
But don't think about Stuart. Just this review.
I know. This review.
Yes.
This one I'll just give it a flat 8.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna say as a piece of entertainment, I enjoyed it more than the first 2. Overall, because it's shorter, with less problems, which is a weird metric to have. Although, yeah, the running out of jetting stuff was silly, and the shuttle escape pods is more assigned to. They've already used all the escape pods in previous missions because you can't just have 3 for the entire ship. I'm gonna give it a 7 for this. So not much better than the first 2, but I think as a condensed piece, I actually liked it more. I think it was more fun. It kind of. And it was also very focused. Yeah.
But the plot hole things didn't bother you as much?
Which plot holes?
Only 3 escape pods that get launched.
Well, why is that a plot hole? Because they've used the rest with Chakotay and his crew.
Yeah, but we don't know that.
We don't, but that's
and it's not explained, so it's just that we're assuming that. It's not necessarily the case.
But unlike other episodes where... But the first one she had, like, that doesn't make sense, whereas you can just have 3 escape pods left. I mean, it's not a plot hole until we see more, so I'm not going to...
Well...
I'm not going to
dumping all the cargo and then their cargo being available all over the place in other episodes.
Well, they never opened up the shuttle bay, so they didn't jump that cargo. They opened up all the airlocks.
They opened all the windows.
Yeah. So we never saw really any other rooms, so I'm fine with that. It was such a small part of the episode anyway. It was dumb, but didn't really.
Well, that's the part that's the huge sticky point for me. Those 2 things really bugged me on this one, but
I was fine with both.
Yeah. So did you rescore yours again?
Yeah, I said 7, so it was a little bit higher than first 2. Actually, overall, I actually enjoyed it more. I think.
Kit 10K, $5. I did mean live action for using characters where the original actor has passed away. Also, you don't have to drink on the super chat. Which General Grievous says, if Adam Nimoy was able to match his dad's voice, I'd say let him try and CGI deepfake over him, but he sounds awful and different. See, I don't have a problem with somebody related to the person as like an homage coming in to like play them. I think that's fine. Like Adam Nimoy has the facial structure of his dad enough so that you could pull that off. But I don't want a new actor necessarily coming in and replacing them. If, like I said, if there are still the original actors surrounding them from their respective show, that's a bit of a problem for me. I don't want that recasting.
Well, and also it's... The problem with that, though, is if you're hiring a non-actor to play an incredibly difficult role. I don't think for a second Adam Nimoy could portray his father successfully enough to count. The nuance in that performance. He's not an actor, you know. We're lucky Chris Doohan did such a good job being Scotty in Such a Continues, and he wasn't as good as Scotty. He didn't have the depth or nuance as James Doohan did. So, and that they were lucky with that. Just hiring their family who aren't actors. You know, you're not going to hire a bank teller, you know, Takei, his daughter, to play, well, daughter, but son, whatever.
I mean, you got Chris Doohan. He ends up doing a good job of his father.
I just said, but he wasn't as good as James Doohan. Like, he wasn't as good as Scotty. So, and we were lucky with him because he was good, but wasn't as good. He wasn't as nuanced.
Yeah.
And that was luck, more than anything else.
I have more respect for that, though, than just some rando off the street actor. Honestly.
Well, that's the thing, though. If a rando off the street actor actively tried to portray a recreation of the other actor versus a Quinto or Peck who then did their own thing. If they try to actually recreate the original, then I would give them credit because, like, well, they've got the acting chops in theory to do the performance of an original version of that performance.
And if they deepfake over it, then I don't have a problem with it, honestly.
Which I gotta say, yeah, I'm excited to see more of.
Yeah,
I like it.
SVS Guru 2000 throws in €5
There you go.
and says, "I've read that in Boba Fett they actually used an AI to do Luke's voice. That is why he sounded so terrible and monotone." I didn't think he sounded terrible at all. And people were like, his acting was so flat. He's not fucking giving a speech. He's training. I thought it was super appropriate. And spoilers for everybody that hasn't seen it. Sorry.
Yeah, that's a whole chat we have to have at some point because that was an episode.
Yeah.
No, I thought. I mean, yes, it would be hard to have him do a ton of varied things, but as a Jedi Master Zen Luke, that having a flat modulation was fantastically appropriate, as you say. And yes, there are definitely lines you can hear that it's Mark Hamill who's been modified a lot, but I'd rather have Mark Hamill modified and sound a bit wonky than some other guys that sound like Mark Hamill. The fact they can achieve that is impressive as all hell.
Yeah.
And there were some good performances in there. It's just, yes, you could hear there was digital alteration because it's literally tones of voice different. I'm very happy to have Mark do it as long as he can. And, keep doing it. It's not your fault what you did in Last Jedi. You didn't want to do it. You tried not to do it. They made you do it. They paid you millions of dollars to do that. Poor you. But he has to make the fans okay with it in his other appearances on TV of all places. Well, streaming TV.
Yeah. Moving on from that though, because we don't want to give anything away too much.
Yes. Episode 4, Death Planet Part 1.
All right.
Ooh.
Trying to remember. I just watched it. God damn it. I remember part 2 a lot better for some reason.
This is when they're each shown stuff that they really, really want. That's the entire episode.
And Dal's dad, and we get the evil Janeway.
Yes, and Gwen escapes and takes over the ship and confuses us all by knowing how to hack it, like that.
Well, she's a clone of her dad, so some of that transferred over.
Oh yeah.
And she replicates the shuttle. It's not finished and tries to escape.
Well, she's already done that, but yeah, she escapes in the shuttle.
And she fights Rock Tuck.
No, that was last week. That was episode 3.
Was it?
Okay. Yeah, she escapes from prison this week.
This one, there were some good moments, like the Dal and his parents and then the Janeway showing up. And wait a minute, you said you can't get off the ship. Ooh, you're a smart little boy. Was good. What the hell? Oh yeah, it tries to trick Zero by showing the ship's core. Getting the introduction of the runaway, whatever the hell it's called, runaway, which is vehicle number 7. The shuttle is 06. Meaning there's been 5 other things printed from that vehicle replicated.
Ooh, yeah. Ooh, that could be a thing.
So we might find out what those are at some point. But that was a nice little
I like that
thing as well. Cool piece of tech, and really fun to see. what was happening with everybody else?
Jankum found a Herodian hut and ate fake stew.
Yes, the stew. Yeah, it's food. Which it was an actual hut. It wasn't actually a.
Yep, real Herodian hut.
Yeah.
Rock Talk hugged bunnies.
The little pink bunny thing. Oh, they love me. Yeah.
And they're sad because they loved her despite her size and no one else does.
Oh.
It's real sad. It's real sad, that.
Yeah, it was. This one I liked because it had a very Star Trek-y feel to it. Definitely because the planets and planet being alive, essentially. References to the Herodian. The whole approach to the planet was really nice. There's a lot of good moments in this one for sure. This one, part 2 is a little bit darker, I guess, but for some reason I'm just remembering part 2 quite a bit more than part 1. But it's kind of coming back to me now. So yeah, you learn things about the characters for sure. Like what their desires are, what their fears are. Yeah, I mean, I liked it.
I'll jump in so you can jump off my thoughts then.
Please do.
I think I like this one again more in retrospect because the vehicle was again super underused. It feels more like an intrusive they're going to use vehicles every week vibe, kind of like Thunderbirds. They don't, so therefore it feels like a one-off for the lols. The computer's being smart, so I like that better now. I liked a lot as we see the Herodian home planet, or well at least we see it, but we go to one of their moons for some reason, or moon planets. I still love it to the Herodian system finally, and they say it so casually. I love that as a beautiful touch. It's both a good character piece and a not good character piece in the sense that the idea is you see them all together, be fully forced apart because they're individuals, put back together, and then here starts the them as a team. This is the moment when they sort of do one thing and yet mean another, which I liked. You see, this is the kind of turning point where they learn, well, this isn't about us as individuals. Although again, Jeremy looks super stupid because, you know, as they're leaving the ship, she's like, "All right, guys, good luck getting samples, because you're cadets, right?" And they just like go off and do nonsense. So I like that in a sense, but again, she's really, really stupid. She just doesn't get it. Even so much as, you know, she doesn't quiz them. It's like, how do they not know how to use a ship? How do they not know missions? How do they not? They know nothing about anything, and she just never questions them on it.
Well, I gotta disagree there. I think that makes it seem better because she is just literally a training program. She's called up when cadets need help or when whatever, right? So she's not looking deeper into it. She's like, okay, you're on the ship, you're cadets, sure.
I mean, that'd be fine if at one point it said we're first year cadets just starting, but cadets can be 4th year high end Red Squad. You know, so to approach them as literally knowing none of the basics, for cadets to know none of the basics is such a specific time in their career. To not even
she's thinking that they're testing her program with like people that are pretending
no,
to know anything.
Nope, so. Not that deep. Nope, not even gonna give. Not even think about saying. What I
this
did
is also an introduction to the phasers and tricorders and stuff. So,
which I like a lot better now, knowing they're from at least some of the future, probably 50 years in the future. That to me now that looks
specialist ones as well.
Yes, because now I can see that, you know, why is it, you know, it slides up and the screen isn't even a real screen. Like now I see it. Okay, 50 years, sure. I like that more now, knowing, and how little the phasers used. I like them better now because they fit better. They're not just the phase of the time. You know, context is super, super important. I like
kings.
Some would. I like the Gwen thing also a lot. The ease of her escaping is fantastic, and the fact that she is the one that brings the diviner in is great. She's still committed. I like that a lot. The fact that she overrides a ship with zero effort, literally zero effort, and Jeremy's like, "What?" is a huge subtext of, you know, diviner was on the ship. He had control of it. He had the subsystems. He had his own codes in. He had his own you know, this was his ship at one point, and then she has been given all this knowledge. Effortless. Absolutely effortless. So I really liked that in this. It feels a bit odd first time, but second time, perfect. It works really well. And it's fun to see the last essence of her being the turncoat, etc. And I also liked how, they're warping away, but in theory they're chasing them, the diviners. So I like the idea that they're like only a few hours behind at any given time, although then they don't know where they're going when she calls them, even though you can still track the warp trail. Bit of a plot hole, but whatever. Moving on. Now, this part, I think, works better than the second part, because the second part drops a massive, massive ball in one particular region. So I won't talk about it until that part, because it shouldn't be levied on this part yet, because that's not this part's fault. But you're right, the landing's fantastic, the planet looks fantastic, the dial, Boo's parents is fantastic. Although, we never bring up, ever again, what species are you? Never comes up again. Completely dropped as a concept. So I completely forgot it was even a thing. I'm sure it'll come up again, but it's so minimal to the character, really. There's no background there. There's no inner turmoil. No, he's fine. He's happy. He's good. But I like seeing that here. And Zero, I thought, was a bit more dumb this week in the sense that once you know what the Pro Drive is, I was like, I don't need this much time saying, ooh, our secret drive, even though we could have Googled it, because the computer later on tells them what it is without any sort of hack. So you could have, dude, if you really wanted to know what it was, you could have just Googled it in the ship's computer. You're an idiot.
Yeah, that being said, this is also the episode that introduced the little cleaning bot things.
Yes.
Because Gwen cuts one in half.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're used in part 2. It's like, if you're introducing it in part 1, use it in part 2.
Which they do.
Because they're not mentioned before or since.
Yeah. But also, if it's 50 years in the future, having exocomp drones, I don't quite buy them as being, given Lower Decks as canon and those exocomps are sentient species. I don't quite buy them having exocomp robots at this point in the timeline. But 50 years, yeah, sure, why not? And I also quite liked at the end, brief, I think that's my last point, where Gwen's now in control, she's doing things, and Joey's sitting at a console pressing buttons, because obviously Gwen can't control all by herself. So she's using the computer, Janeway, to control ship's console. I just find it slightly funny. She's always like the advisor, and clearly she can touch buttons at that point because she's touching buttons.
I was just going to talk about that, but I mean, honestly, if you're using a holo program to touch buttons, you could literally be just activating the buttons and she's just a visual representation of doing that.
But we know she can't do stuff non-manually because that's not how that works.
I don't know.
Which is funny to have the computer talk to the computer. Computer, activate the drones. What, you mean me telling me to do something? Yep. Okay. But that's the Doctor. This is not an unusual thing. It's just funny to have that sort of conversation. Although I thought the end was really strange, and I know it would have probably that first time where Janeway's, they literally say the ship's going down, you can't go down with it, implying it's going to be destroyed. So Gwen leaves, and then Janeway successfully pilots the ship to a rock face and is fine. It's like, well, why did you have to leave the ship then?
In case it didn't work.
It worked fine though.
I know, but it could not have. Maybe. Who knows? Better be safe than sorry.
That felt like a silly.
Why aren't you using transporters as well at this point?
Well, now that's a double. They mention explicitly an anti-transporter particle at the start, which is why they can't beam.
Missed that.
Mm-hmm. And yet, in part 2, we'll get there. So, Stuart, episode 4. What are your reviews scoring?
I think I'm going to give it an 8.6.
Okay.
'Cause I think I really like this one first time. I'm kind of scrolling through the pictures now to kind of refresh my memory of anything, but yeah, 8.6.
Sorry, yeah, 8.6 you say. Okay.
Yeah.
For me, yeah, I think there's lots of things in this I really enjoyed, more so than last week's. Although I could have done with some of the less of the fake memory stuff, like the, whatever. I'm going to go 7.5. I think it's another incremental better than last week. Even though less focus, I think they had more strong moments. I think. So both incrementally increased, just at different rates so far.
Okay.
Episode 5!
Right, we got a super chat, though. General Grievous, $5.
Oh.
Chris Doohan lived around James, so that may also help. Even if you aren't a professional actor, if you grow up with them, you pick up stuff subliminally. Yeah, like small little gestures and mannerisms and things like that. Absolutely. So, yes.
Oh, yeah.
I'll have a drink for that.
Super, super true. You know, and he has so much of his dad in him. We've met him, and you certainly feel a little bit of that. All right, so I'm out of this, so I will grab a new one.
Okay.
See you in a minute.
And we'll chat with the people.
Please do.
So 52 people watching, 67 likes, guys. Let's try to get up to 75 likes. Hit that like button. And don't forget Super Chat. We got lots of drinks here. I got lots of things to drink. So, yeah. But yeah, we are coming up to episode 5, Terra Firma, so we're like the halfway mark here, so. Activate the emergency crash hologram. And all of a sudden Troy appears. Good job. Let's see. Evil Janeway reminds me of the one in Living Witness. Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I agree, Bill. But yeah. So he'll be back in a second. Any thoughts so far? Are you enjoying the review or the retrospective? Let us know. I think this protostar is smaller than it's definitely smaller than Nova Class. There's no thinking about it. It definitely is. It's like half the size of a Nova Class. I would have loved to have briefly seen Robert Picard return as UMH. Yeah, like he needs to return in something, either Picard, Discovery, or Prodigy would be awesome. So.
Hello. All right.
So Kit 10K just threw in a $50 super chat. It says, hey guys.
Hi.
Those who are watching, let's get to giving these guys an I'll match and beat $20 and under and match 50 and over.
It's crazy.
Damn, man.
And do you want to read out the finishing poll result and we'll do another one?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Forgot the poll existed. So, which did you enjoy most with 33 votes? We've got episode 3 at 55%. Okay. That's the star one.
Yeah.
Episode 2 at 39%.
Oh, okay.
And episode 1 at 6%.
Oh.
There you go.
It's pretty decisive, actually. And that's basically what we said as well. Okay. So if you want to reset and do 4, 5, and 6. Gonna start a fruity monster this time because I'm,
Nice.
have a lot more to say. Oh, wouldn't the ProStar have an EMH? Not necessarily. Because it's, prototype. Doesn't necessarily need to have one. Although it probably should. Which in fairness might be a later plot point. Although can you have 2 holograms at the same time? Yes, because it's the EMH. And, the EMHs do it. That would be cool though. Have a Picardo. Or Andy Dick. The triumphant return of Andy Dick.
Please do not have Andy Dick.
Stuart, we want Dick back. Come on, we want to have some more Dick in our lives.
Don't. No, we don't.
You know you love some Dick, okay? Come on, be serious. I think he knows. I think he knows what he knows. Shall I start on this one then?
Go for it.
Episode 5, the end of the first season part, even though it's really episode 6, whichever. Or not, I don't know, it gets confusing. So this is Terra Firma, this is the part 2 of Death Planet, but really it's the proto-warp jump and the ending of, like I said, the first half of the season. So this one I This one's very odd because it kind of ignores half of the plot points of the last episode, which, watching them back to back, I just watched. Because in episode, the previous one, they very much, the planet is a deadly threat, it's going to kill them, to eat them, blah, blah, blah. This episode, most of them walking around not being killed at any moment. And it feels terrible pace-wise in terms of that. You're just thinking the planet I gave up, I guess? I know it tries to make one robot, but if it can create anything that has some semblance of corporeal existence, as soon as it stops trying to kill them, I just don't buy it. And it loses me. There's no real rationale for that, except, it stopped trying to do the illusions. No. And then it comes back at the end. It's like, no. Because you create such an unwinnable situation that you then got to even the odds by saying, and now they're going to forget. It's like, no. But the ending's fantastic. The Gwen working with them is good, is interesting. The Bird of Prey is fantastic, and I'm glad I was proven right. I said the Bird of Prey would be back in a big way to justify such a good model. Yep, both terms. It's fantastic, and is a super nice that it's treated so chill that Klingons. They even mention later on episodes Dahl knowing Klingon proverbs. So Klingons, yeah, it's all good, normal, which I love, and it is how they approach all the races so far. That these races do just get places, and we know about them, etc. But and then as you said earlier, I really liked the Diviner stuff because knowing his context, I completely sympathise with the scene to leave his daughter because clone. Not quite daughter. Just for the slight context. We didn't know that yet. Just a slight thing there. And, of course, you're going to save several billion people and justify enslaving thousands over 17 years. That's just, there it is. It's right there. So I completely sympathise with his choice there. And I felt really I thought that was interesting. But also, big plot hole, they explicitly can't beam in part 1 due to the radiation, except the Diviner can beam easily. If you can beam easily, beam inside the ship! So this one also has some serious plot holes of contrivedness. So, mixed bag! There you go, my thoughts.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, the Diviner thing is really powerful in this one for sure, especially when you know the context of it. And, this one also had, like I said, a much darker feel to it. You see Dreadnought kind of hunting them at night, which is kind of terrifying.
The Lord of the Rings reference.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The Runaway getting destroyed. The Klingon Bird of Prey, the Crash Bird of Prey was awesome. And yeah, I thought you were an idiot for saying what you said, but you were right. So, hey.
It was really freaking good quality.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah. Also, the planet trying to trick them by basically walking them in a circle. You said it was 10 kilometers ago. And then figuring out to follow the stars because after Gwen and Dal have this nice moment where they're looking at constipations. And that's what we'll get after we eat Jenkins stew.
And that is a real flirty moment. It's pretty much the only flirty the entire, apart from the first episode. It's pretty in that scene.
Yeah. So
we'll see where that goes or not.
Yeah. But yeah, decide to follow the stars. Finally find the ship. I love that the Diviner is basically tricked.
It's not real.
Yeah, it was amazing. So he gave up his daughter for nothing, essentially.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you got Janeway on the ship trying to figure out how to get the vines out of the plasma conduits and stuff, and it's that's where she's like, "Oh, I have only access to low-level systems. What should I do? What would Janeway do?" And then clean house. So she sends out the little cleaning probe things to go take care of them.
Which feels so unbelievably easy. Should have been the first thing you find.
Sounds like it's going to be very difficult to get out of those vines. No, sir, it'll be super easy. Barely an inconvenience.
Oh, really? Yes, we'll activate dividing program number 1. Why didn't we try it before? Didn't invent it yet. Good reason.
Right. Listen, I'm gonna have to ask you to get all the way off my back about that. No, this was a fun episode. I think I probably scored this one a little bit higher just because of the emotion. I don't either.
Yeah.
The emotional impact of that scene with Gwen for sure, where she realizes that her father cares more about the ship than her. Just going through the last few pictures here to see if there's anything I forgot, but I don't think so.
And also, the episode 6 was Kobayashi Maru, not First Contact. So, guys, those only for episode 6. It's actually the Kobayashi episode. Hopefully, you guys know that while you're voting that. Thanks.
Oh, it's all right.
Sorry?
You can be quiet now. So this one I'm going to give probably an 8.75 on.
Okay.
Because it's a good one.
Yeah, there's some really strong, simple moments, but there's also them being on the planet is like, well, doesn't really make sense. But that moment when the Diviner thinks on the ship is really well played, and the ramp moment works super well. Life forms incoming. But it's such a daft moment when Janeway lands successfully, which means she pilots the ship. She pilots it, lands it completely. The Divines don't continue to attack it properly for a bit, at least for a few minutes. She then calls them and says, Janeway to crew, we're 10 kilometers away, walk. And they're like, we're being attacked every second. Yes, just walk. They'll leave you alone now. Why? Because we're in part 2. Like, that would have been an obscene situation for part 1 situations. So it's a really silly reset button. And watching back-to-back, it is worse, I think, than the first time. We've had a week difference. But the ending is very, very good. That said, I don't... And I'd love to know what you think here. I thought... And we learn later, Dahl explicitly says we go back for Gwen to save her. Even though the last they saw of her was, yes, I betrayed you... my legs brace have been knocked out. Run, guys. But she did betray you. The only reason they're there, and yet they save her. I remember there being another bit in between that makes them trust her. Why did they save her? She hadn't, she'd literally brought them there. The only reason. So I thought there wasn't a catalyst to save her.
That was the catalyst to save her was the discussion they had in the Bird of Prey.
But then Honestly. She betrayed them. And Dahl doesn't like being betrayed. Still saved her.
No, what was the reason for that then?
No, I agree. That is the reason.
Later in the next episode, he says, Janeway insisted we get everybody.
Well, that was this episode, and then they say later on, no, he insisted. So I just found that in the second watch, it's so soon after that he's been betrayed that it's odd that he would... But if we'd made it clear they really were friends beforehand, but you're asking Patrol to bring her back on board, given she restole the ship, she crashed it, she sent message, and she's slowing you down. All these things aren't to her advantage. So I was missing one element there. I do feel like it's probably worse than part 1, but the Bird of Prey in the ending is so strong that there are moments of absolute glory. I don't know. These are really hard to revote, I'll be honest. I'm really having trouble with this, to know where my scores are at.
Yeah, I am too.
Because the comparison between them is so... They're all very different. What's good and bad between them, to know how I score them is so...
Okay. I feel your pain.
Okay. I enjoyed this one more, but I think last week had a stronger story. But this week had better moments. This is so difficult.
So it's on you to score.
I know, it's really difficult. Oh my god. Fine. I'm going to... Because I think I enjoyed it more, I'll get it 1 point higher, 7.6. But it had also bigger problems. God damn it, this was hard. So currently, though, we've resaid they're all getting better, episode by episode. That's currently the trajectory. I'll reveal that. And also, the ending was fantastic. The swell. Although I don't know why he didn't just shoot the Pro Star, disable it, because it's your one chance. Because the thing, from the Divine's perspective, he's lost a ship. He's never going to get it back. That's it. That's the end of his 17-year mission. They save his universe. He really should have shot the ship or fired an anti-proton beam or something to disable the warp drive. I was kind of amazed how he's like, give me the ship, Gwendala. I won't tell you why, Now's the time to tell you why, though. Because, oh, she's gone. Fuck! I'm sorry, great-grandmother. I'm sorry, father. I'm sorry, twin Baba. I'm sorry, you're all dead now. You know what I mean? The ending's not quite as powerful without that, but it's cool for the team. Episode 6, Kobayashi, Stuart. What do you think in retrospect?
This was a fun one. And not only was it... Well, before we start talking about that, let's get to the 2 super chats.
Oh, okay.
Hold on. Mark Lawrence throws in $10. Hashtag Sam Drink. My kids are sad that they have to wait for more Prodigy, just like when we were younger for our favorite shows. Maybe we can get Robert Picardo's EMH on the Dauntless.
Yep.
There you go. Yeah.
I want to see that.
Kit 10K, $10.
Thank you.
EMH Mark 1, it's Starfleet. Ship is hit. EMA Mark 2, what are they doing? Mark 1, firing on us. Mark 2, they must think we're Romulans on board. EMH Mark 1, they're right.
Yeah.
So
really
good. 2 shots, which... Thank you. Or that's 2 half shots, which is a full shot.
And Minoella says, the stories are not supposed to be too deep, just fun. Then why is there a time travel ungenocide plot with a guy from the future, a ship from the future, a slave planet, a clone, an unknown set of races, a transforming genocidal robot? Really? There's a lot of elements here that are quite deep and full on. Multiple eras, multiple timelines, multiple... Let's not say that. That's not... Yeah.
Yeah, I get sick of that, hearing that, honestly.
I mean, this show's impressive. When you rewatch it, the amount of care and attention is very impressive. And honestly, I do think the plot hole elements are just lack of time. That is absolutely it. They're smart enough to know them. They just ran out of time. They just prioritized,
All right. Kobayashi. This is a fun one. Not only was it Return to Prodigy, but it was such heavy with Star Trek fan material. You gotta say. This one, I know there's issues with the audio clips and stuff, but to see the legacy characters come back was fantastic. Seeing how Dahl thinks he's cocky enough to be the captain and beat the Kobayashi Maru.
Well, what do those Academy guys have that I don't?
Training, age, experience. Tell me when to stop.
Yep.
But no, this was good, and even Jenkin making fun of him and stuff like that. But to see all the legacy characters was great. To see the Kobayashi Maru, to see the Galaxy class bridge, the Klingons. I know the audio clips, like I said, were a little janky. Everybody complained about that, but who cares, honestly. But yeah, the introduction of the holodeck, seeing the different the different programs she scrolls through as well, which was fun. What else happens in this one? Murph eats some photonic grenades, which was kind of funny because Murph's indestructible, so we find that out, which is important for later on as well. But no, it was a good return to Prodigy from the break, and people use the word fan servicey, but who cares, honestly? It's done well, respecting canon, respecting characters. We had a little bit of depressed Gwen. Why'd you come back for me? Well, Janeway kind of made us, and then she's kind of suffering from depression through the whole thing. And what do you guys even need me for on this ship? Because I speak different languages, but the ship can translate anything. And Zero's like, we need, translation is just translation. It's interpretation that's important, which was nice. This is also the 17 years earlier episode, so we get a big reveal as to what's going on with that. Actually, I just want to read that direct quote that you were talking about Menio's search before.
Yeah. And guys, do vote in the poll and keep super chatting if you want to have your voice heard. We're doing well.
Yeah.
But we do rely on these to live, as you guys know. So, tell if you can. A few fives, let us know what you think. And this one, come on, this one's definitely one to talk about. So, put in your thoughts.
So Dreadnought says many failed before, years wasted. And then even if the Protostar is here, so he goes on to talk about that kind of stuff. So, again, a lot of questions kind of answered, but a lot more raised at the same time.
It definitely feels like a generational mission, which is really interesting. And I think that'd be fantastic. I mean, you've said a few times, time travel, accidental, like the way it was done or when. So if he goes back 150 years and in the wrong quadrant, it's like, well, shit. And the only way I can get, it'll take me more than 150 years to get back to my planet anyway, because whatever. So they decide to follow. There are things you could do there that are really interesting. And honestly, if you go back and see the Divine as a younger boy, whatever, with a older, there's a lot of backstory you could add to it to reintegrate the character. Especially if Dreadnought is then also their, murder guardian, generational helper, etc. So, yeah, I completely forgot about that stuff, and it's really, really important.
The one thing I really forgot about this episode, though, was where they asked Janeway what the mission of the ship is, and she starts to recite it, but then her memory's been locked out. So that was also, like, I always forget that this is in this episode because you focus so much on the holodeck simulation and the legacy characters. But again, it established the time travel thing with the 17 years. It showed the problem with Janeway's programming. So there's a lot more here than just the Dal coming to the realization that he almost beat the Kobayashi Maru, kind of, I guess.
Beat that level.
But yeah, he realized the importance of teamwork and stuff, which was nice. This is a really good one. This one I have to score high. Because there's more layers here, there's more depth, there's more character information than you realize when you go into it, which is fantastic. So I'm gonna have to give a 9 points.
You don't do score. Remember, I'd talk then.
But last time I just said it, and then
you didn't. You didn't. Because I gave my full review first. Then you did your review. Then you scored it. Now I give my thoughts, Stuart. So Samuel, what do you think of season 1, episode 6?
Samuel.
Yes.
Samuel, what do you think of Kobayashi?
It's great. I think it's the best of the season by actually quite a margin, because it's incredibly focused. The Dal storyline is fantastic for character building. It's super. It knows what it wants to be. It knows what it wants to achieve. It has a lot of depth. It has a lot of layers. And there's so much other grand story in this that we're begging the show to show us. Flashback, yes. The Chakotay reveal, yes. The Janeway doesn't know what the mission is, yes. We know what the Prodrive is, they talk about it as well. Lots of really fantastic stuff in this, to the point of really heightens it, because we want to know these nuggets. And Jank and Pog has a great set of lines in it as well. This is really top tier, and it's just beyond interesting. It was a really good rewatch, because it gives you all the stuff you need, all the stuff you want, and all the stuff you didn't know you wanted, and they give it to us really well. So it was a really, really enjoyable episode, and still intriguing even after knowing the rest of the season. And real Klingons. We saw real Klingons in Low Decks. These are even more real-looking Klingons. Boom, fantastic. You don't have to redesign them, etc. A little bit more purple, but whatever. Not the end of the world.
Yeah.
Maybe the music's fun. I mean, there's a few little niggles here and there, but it's and the Murph thing as well is small, but it's important, very important later on. Anything else? I have zero problem with the sound clips, because that's literally the best they could do, and so that is, I'd rather do that and have it be less good than not do it and get Ethan Peck. No offense to Ethan, I'd rather do it properly, etc. Yeah, the fact that Gwen feels more like a team now, that's important. It's a shift. It's part 2, so it does feel like a distinct oomph. Now we're going in to the next element. And Jodie now feels more like a character as well, because she's going away from the programming of cadet mission. It's more about helping her, and the Chakotay thing was, like I said, really good. Although now in retrospect, it's more disappointing there isn't more of that. But because you get the Diviner stuff, it's very, very good. All right.
Ooh, and the return of Beverly.
Yes. Gates. Thanks, Gates, for coming back.
Jeff Sturm says, "Stop fighting about who goes first. Don't pull rank. You both have good points." Yes, but we're not fighting.
Stuart, so what would you give score-wise for Kobayashi?
9.6.
Yeah, I was gonna say 9.5. So really, I mean, best of the season. I don't even know. I don't even know to see our proof scores. This is the best of the season. Haven't really watched them all. It's the best written. It's the best action. It's the best canon. It's the best paced, sort of.
And it's the introduction of Chakotay as well.
Yeah, and the Diviner,
and the whole,
really.
And the Dreadnought on the ship, yeah.
It gives us so much stuff the episodes don't. And so currently, show, you've now improved, according to this retrospective scores, every episode. But we can't, I don't think we're going to give the next one 9.7 and 9.6 respectively, Stuart. So I think that might be the peak. The Omicron has hit. We're now going to see lower scores.
Well, that's the thing, right? Like I said, with the last episode, they're so good with these episodes that they just can't keep getting better and better and better and better. There's got to be some bumps in the road. So
it's because, like I said, this one benefited from the focus. It aimed for something, it achieved the thing it aimed for super well, which the other ones aren't always going for, etc.
Yeah.
Sweet. All right. Next.
Let's end the poll. As we caught up to this here. This should say episode 6 will be out. God damn it.
Yes.
Anyway. So, Kobayashi, I guess, 82%. Episode 5, 18%. Dreamcatcher, episode 4, 0%. Wow. What the hell?
That is, I guess we're right again. Wow.
It's only 34 votes, man. Like, wow.
No, not one person liked that most.
I'm going to end the poll so we have 0%. There you go. I didn't want somebody just voting on it just because.
Okay, and I guess put 7, 8, 9, and 10. I should know what you guys are going to vote on.
And I'll get the titles right this time, so don't worry.
Yeah. So I'll go first on this one then. First Contact. So this one's the one I got up to, and I did watch all of it except the First Contact bit. I also think this one is really good because it has the canon lore you need for the Ferengi. It has a backstory you want with Dahl, as a cloaking device stuff. Although now in retrospect, the cloaking device they made some mishaps. They call it a Chimerian cloak. Is that called? Chimerium, yeah. You need Chimerium for the cloaking device, but they cloak normally, even though the first episode has a Chimerian cloak, which is a different cloak. So, miscommunication with the CGI people if it's actually a Chimerian cloak or it's a cloak. Whatever, moving on. But the Ferengi's great. Everyone has a sideline this week for sure, but it's the great evolution of Dahl's character episode. It's the sequel to last episode, actually. He grew the team building that week. Now he's showing it, give or take. And knowing where he came from was really good. It deepens him a ton, and now knowing that retrospective, the previous ones really worked as well. What else happened? Oh, the beautiful landmarks. The alien was great. The last shot where they beam the rock into the place, I thought it was silly now because the scale of the rock in the combat is all wrong. We see the rock in the combat in the shot before, and it's a normal size. Cut to the rock in situ, and it's like this big. They completely mess up the scale on that, which is just daft. But it is a bit harsh to have a combat, take up 1/5 of your crystal for all of time in your sacred space, etc. But it is such a Star Trek episode. Well, it's such a good.
The combat thing is an issue even with rocks because it's like twice as big as all the other people's.
Sure. But this is really good. This is really this is very much a TNG Voyager, and I also appreciate how this now, in retrospect, this is super good foreshadowing, because First Contact killed the Diviner's planet, and here the team's doing a First Contact poorly, showing how showing how it can be botched very easily, and how important it is not to be half-assed. So that's interesting how they throw the phrase away, and yet it comes in later, which I thought was good. Although I still think the sort of quote unquote plot hole was how they proto-warp 4,000 light years into the Gamma Quadrant, and yet they meet his Ferengi adopted mum basically, which means when she sold him how many years ago, she had traveled 4,000 light years away in the opposite direction for them to catch up with her. Of all of space, they went within a few light years of her, and she had traveled as well. That's not logical or conceivable at all. I don't think. I mean, what do we say that would be like 3 years for Voyager at high warp?
Yeah.
I don't think a Ferengi's going at high warp for 3 years in one direction just for the sake of it. And then calls the Diviner. So then it's still in comm range of 4,000 light years, give or take. So that distance doesn't work. They really shot themselves in the foot with a massive expansive scope, and yet made the universe seem really small again. That definitely comes across as really dumb, and just another plot hole. Like I said, it's sort of one plot on every episode where it's like, that doesn't work. That's just a mistake. But I really enjoyed it. It's a really nice watch. I wouldn't say fun necessarily, but a nice watch.
Yeah. Well, this one for me was great because seeing the Ferengi introduced, seeing the Marauder looking beautiful. The first contact that day was great. Like, you guys aren't ready for first contact. Mm-hmm. It's like the highest thing in the Federation. It's the first time it's on screen. They're really proud of that because it's like a big hologram. The aliens were very, very alien though, very Star Trek, which was awesome. The crystal communication was also very, very well done, I think. But learning that she's the one that raised Dal, we get reference to the phage. We get a lot of nice little references in this one, as is kind of the way for Prodigy. Like, they do things really well. Her double crossing him, stealing the cloaking device was a bit of an issue. I like that it does look the same. I didn't notice that at first. You did, but it does look the same for sure. But the Chimerian cloak, I know they kind of explain it on Twitter what it is and how it's different, but it's not as good a cloak as a cloak. So it's whatever. Kind of stupid, actually, when you think about it. You need Chimerium to activate this cloaking device, which looks like a regular goddamn Klingon cloaking device. So it's kind of a stupid little niggle that kind of bothers me a tad. But other than that, I mean, it's just great seeing a Ferengi, knowing that she's going to come back, probably. I know she does in another episode where she notifies the Diviner of their location, which is the next episode, actually. Let's see what else. Oh yeah, them returning the crystal was stupid. I hate the way that happened. A scuffle with Dal and attached to the communicator. She doesn't notice it when she's holding it, sets it down. But them beaming it back. I know that Janeway chastises them about this. They're going to be wary of like people from outside their planet now because of this whole thing. But at the same time, I hope they forgive the Federation, because the Federation, they must notice that the person that stole it got chased by these people, and then when it got returned, it had the comm badge, the symbol that they were all wearing. So I don't see much of an issue with their first contact being disastrous per se, because they are quite technological, or they're advanced in some form, right? But yeah, it was a good episode, and just seeing the Marauder, man. The Marauder was like the best looking Marauder I've seen. And I just have questions. Like, does she have a crew? Is she the only one manning it? It's a big ship. Like, how is that possible? Why is he sleeping under the engine when there's probably tons of quarters?
It's a big ship.
It's
Galaxy class
tons of quarters,
roughly.
And she has no crew. Give him some quarters. If it's fully manned, why don't we see more Ferengi or various other aliens that could be helping her? Like, there's a lot of questions at the same time. But overall, a fun episode, tying it, well, people also made the point of female Ferengi daemon. Well, she's not a daemon necessarily. She doesn't have the tattoo of an actual daemon. She just acquired the ship. She's the captain of the ship. She's a Ferengi. They're devious. So whatever she had to do. Her wearing clothes, I mean, fine. Whatever.
Well, she's also...
People brought up a lot of points.
Well, she's also deep in the Gamma Quadrant, or the border of the Gamma and the Delta. Like, she's a Ferengi's gone off to do her own thing. Like, she's not in the Alpha Quadrant trading with Bajorans. She's really, really far out. So she's doing her own thing. She's a free spirit,
Yeah, so I don't have an issue with a lot of the problems that people brought up with this one. It was a fun one. So do I get my score now, or do you want to give yours?
Yeah, you just go.
This one I would probably score with a... shit. I'm going to fuck myself with the high scores. 9.25. Sure, why not? just because, yeah, it's a good one.
Okay.
Lots of Star Trekkiness going on. Star Trekkiness is the new word that we keep using, but hey, it is what it is.
Yeah, I do think this does reach a 9 level as well, because it just feels right, and it's a good character. It's only character study for a few characters, but it's so genuine, and you can feel we're trying to show the children that are watching this why this is important. It's a really good. Drugs are bad, Wesley, because some people like drugs. And, you know, it's like that, but really well done.
Fucking hated that speech.
Yeah. I'm happy to give it a straight 9. I think it deserves the top tier of scores. I think it's for what it's trying to do, and like I said, the decor is although the interiors are very bleh, but that's yeah. Here nor there.
And her weird alien box
Yeah.
companion friend, and the updated Ferengi Alcarzy kind of things. Yeah, there's a lot of goodness in this one.
Yeah.
Let's get to some super chats, which we should have actually got to before we start talking about this episode. General Grievous, $5. I'll take fan service any day if it's done well over people like Michael Chabon freely admitting he wrote most of season 1 of Picard to piss fans off. Yeah, here's to that. Michael Chabon can.
Yep. Well,
but he won an award. Well, yeah.
What a wrong guy to hire.
I won a fucking basketball award in public school. Doesn't make me fucking anybody special. So
it's like Brian Fuller, clearly one of the not the good guys really, to hire.
Paul Thomas puts in £5.
Thank you.
So thank you so much. Aaron J. Waltke just said, time is a funny thing in Star Trek. To someone asking when Prodigy and Lower Decks takes place, more time travel in Prodigy confirmed. There's going to be some timey shenanigans going on, I think. More so than we've got so far.
Yeah, I mean, the villain...
Maybe not even just time, either.
Well, hey. Yeah, I mean, to live on a hero ship that's from the future is quite an important thing to do, really.
Yeah.
I'm just going to grab some water briefly. Around.
Yes. Grab some water. I will chat with the people. 80 likes, guys. 54 people here. If you haven't hit like yet, hit that like button. Let's try to get to 100. Check out the poll as well. We currently have 23 votes, which is lower than any of the other two, so check that out and vote accordingly. Basically, your favorite episode of these next ones we're talking about: First Contact, Time of Mock, Moral Star Part 1, and Moral Star Part 2. So yeah, lots to do. Go hit the like button first, then go check out the poll, vote on the poll, and then super chat. We got some more super chats to read, which we'll get to in just a second here once Samuel gets back. But yeah, guys, thank you for joining us. Hope you're having a good time. Hopefully you're not bored, because I'm not. I need to change my cards again. That's what I need to do. We'll go with this one, because why not? You probably can't see some of the little fine movements going on there, but that's all right. Yeah, there was no mention of the Grand Nagus. They moved the station to the wormhole in the first episode of DS9. Yes, they did. What's that have to do with anything? Unless you're having a chat with somebody in the chat. Jeff Stern makes about as much sense as Deep Space Nine just happening to be near the... Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, they did move it, but yes, Bajor was still close enough to it to be coincidental, I guess. Captain, were you not going for 100% on something? Isn't 0% 100% of people not liking something? Yes, Jeff, that's why I ended it quickly. So we did get 100% of somebody not liking it for sure. That's a good point. Now that you're back,
yes.
Ervik Sonder throws in $5.
Thank you.
Just finished watching Admiral Janeway. Woot woot. Cheers, guys. Drinking Stella. Commander drink.
Okay, good. Ah, you got a free captain as well.
And Kit 10K throws in $20.
Oh, dear.
As the AC/DC song goes, have a drink on me. Hashtag cap drink. Hashtag same drink. Now for $20, I mean, splitting it up. Should I have a half shot, or what should I do with that?
Whichever you want, Stuart.
Break into this stuff again. I'm gonna go with the blackberry stuff. This stuff's really good. My favorite.
So episode 8, time travel, sort of, not really. Now in retrospect, this one feels like a sequel to episode 3. It feels like a standalone, ship-based, science problem, science solution, teamwork episode. The sequel. Whereas the first time it was Dahl giving up, no one knew what to do. This time, everyone knows what to do in a sense. Everyone kind of works together. And given we had a first 2, which was 1 episode, and arguably the last 2 should have been 1 episode as well, I think. So it actually really feels like a symmetry of 2, and this is the one in between. This one I didn't get to in the rewatch, but I still remember it 'cause it was very, very recently. It's kind of nice to have that standalone episode now. I still wish there was more grander context stuff, although then we do get the Dreadnought appear. Now, having then seen the whole series, very clear different version of him, because the real him is very black, is very red shiny, lots of appendages. This guy is silver, a lot less red, and no appendages. So, printable alternate version, which is exciting for later things. Far more mobile, like human mobile, 2 legs, etc. So that was interesting. But I obviously at the time I remember thinking I was a bit complicated. It's nice to have this sort of episode, and certainly Rock Talk is a real standout here. But I still don't necessarily buy the ship actually does get destroyed 5 times. It doesn't get destroyed, la. But now seeing the evolution for Dahl, then becoming this guy that can successfully build something, but now it makes more sense because he was part of the Ferengi's crew for years, so there is knowledge there innately. And then Gwen working with Janeway, etc. Well, probably too easy Janeway comes back at the end. Might have been a possible get out of jail free, where by the end, if Janeway's been rebuilt by this rock alien, that's why her program gets broken later on in terms of now, all these things she can do because when rebuilt wasn't rebuilt correctly. So it's good. I even though I love time travel, I would not call it a favorite of my time travel episodes. Something about it doesn't quite connect, and still the fact that they fly into the nebula knowing it's dangerous and no one warns them, the ship doesn't warn them, Jerry doesn't warn them, it feels like just the plot hole of the episode. So yeah. There you go. That's my thoughts.
Okay. I'll get to mine in a second. Bill Barkley says, how many episodes are left? Well, I have Time a Mock to talk about, and then 2 more. Moral Star Part 1 and 2. But if you mean in Season 1, there's another 10 after this. So there's 20 total in Season 1, which are coming in a few months sometime. I don't know when. But yeah. Kit10K puts in $10 and says, Cap, dude, where'd you get the Cheers shot glass? My mom would love to have that. It was actually bought in Boston at the actual Cheers. It's my brother or my dad got it for me. Can't remember. But yeah, it's from the actual Cheers. That you go where everybody knows your name and all that jazz. So yeah, that's where it's from. I'm sure you can buy them online somewhere, but I'll have to have a half shot for that as well. Shit. I'll go with this peach treat. Anyway, my thoughts on Time Amok. A fun episode. Love anything time related. This one was interesting, fracturing the ship, much like the episode Shattered of Voyager. Only not as good. I think Voyager's was better, honestly. And then the sine wave with some are going slower, some are going faster. Somebody asked in our last review of the episode of Moral Star Part 2 how long Murph was affected, because Murph seemed smarter in the last episode, but Murph was one of the longer sine waves, because Janeway's like, all right, who can help me here? And because it was right after Zero, and Zero was a quick one. And it was Murph, so it could have been months for Murph that Janeway and Murph were hanging out doing nothing. But so yeah, maybe a little bit smarter, but no. But Rock Talk's character development was great in this. Even Dal, doing what he did to build the thing. And I love how Dal's looked all janky and crappy, and Rock Talk was like perfect, because she had taught herself all this stuff and she had all this time to build it. We don't know how long, probably years at this point, but yeah, I mean, fun time travel thing, and Janeway altering a program was a nice MacGuffin to talk to everybody and to solve the problem. There were a few issues, like when I think it was Gwen that opened the back of the ship up to suck out the diviner who got built by a vehicle replicator, which was stupid. And then the warp matrix or the warp thing went out as well. Like, just beam that shit back. You just learned how to use transporters in the last episode, guys. But anyway, I mean, there's a few small little things, but overall, a fun episode. I feel really bad for Rock. I wish we would have known how. I wish we had a distinct amount, knew how long she was there. Because how long was she affected? Too long. It's like, well, thanks, jackass. That helps. Could literally be 12 months or 11 months. Could be 3 years. Who knows?
Yeah, I'm gonna guess my official word is between 3 and 5 years.
I'd guess 1.5 years at the most, I think. Because honestly, and she's got to learn. Yeah, she's learned quite a few things, but I don't know. Like, it's like the title of the show is Prodigy, so prodigies can learn things pretty quick. They're pretty smart. I think that applies to most of these crew, anyway.
Except Jankum. I wouldn't call him Prodigy. No, Prodigy after this.
You're racist against Tellarites.
I'm just no. No.
What do you call Tellarites? You call them tellers?
Well, they come from Tellar Prime.
I know, that's their word. You can't use that.
Find their Primians.
There you go.
The T Prime.
Anyway,
T Prime people.
Fun episode.
To Primians. There you go.
I love the twist on the title too. I did expect some kind of Vulcan to show up, like to find a Vulcan with the title, but Time Unlock, it makes perfect sense really when you watch the episode. So it was a little bit deceiving though, going into it knowing the title. But anyway, fun episode. So you're gonna give your score first then, because you want first.
Sure. This didn't click for me in the same way other ones did. I'm normally a sucker for these. So I'm gonna be a little more harsh on it because I just don't think it quite worked as it could have, and just the rationale for why is a plot hole for me. So I'm gonna say 7.9. I don't think it hits the. Don't even think it hits the 8, let alone the 9. So.
What was your score? You made me drop my score by like a point.
Okay. Hey, do whatever you want to do.
I was going to go 8.5, but I'm going to go 8.4.
Okay. Sure.
It was fun. It was a good one.
Okay. Sweet.
Let's like cause and effect. You can see the ship destroyed.
Yeah, but that was so much better, that episode. That's masterclass. Anyway, Moral Star Part 1. Stuart, what do you think of Moral Star Part 1 in not retrospect, because we didn't rewatch them, but now thinking about it a week later.
Which is retrospective.
Wow.
Before we get into it, General Grievous throws in $2. What do you call Tellarites? Sentient bacon.
Oh. I mean, he does joke about, do you want to smell cooking flesh? But...
I poured this for some reason, but this is the half shot for the $10 super chat kit. Okay, here you go. And this is that peach tree. That's good shit. That's really good. Anyway, General Grievous, $2. Tolerate sentient bacon. Yeah, I'll give it a small little drink for that too. All right, so now we're going into what? Where are we? What's happening? Where am I? Oh my god.
Episode 9, Moral Star Part 1.
Part 1. Oh yes, the uncompleted Dreadnought from one of the other timelines sends a message of the diviner saying return the ship in a day or blah, 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 blah. Well, automatically problems with that, but hey, we're gonna move on past that. So we got this. We're gonna have this plan. We're gonna do this plan. We're gonna do this thing. We're gonna screw the diviner. We're gonna rescue all the unwanted. We're gonna go back and because the choice is either they have enough protostar jump capabilities to go to the Federation and ask for help. No guarantee the Federation will be able to get to. What's the place's name?
Tars Lamora.
Tars Lamora. I usually ask people for names.
I either know it or I don't know it. Yeah,
exactly. But yeah, so either enough for the Federation to get there on time or for them to jump. They decide to do the jump. And there's this whole planning montage, like, ooh, that's quite an upgrade kind of thing and whatever. Anyway, they get there, they show the ship, and yeah. Part 1 went well. I just wish it would have ended with the protostar warping out. As like you're left here. They got the ship. They're gonna do their evilness. But it's had such a weird editing point with them flying off to, like, even literally 5 seconds before that. Just don't show that scene of them going down to execute this plan. So the editing was a bit rough. The music just cut off abruptly at that point as well. So it did feel like it was one cohesive piece, and they just didn't know where to chop it, and they just chopped it in a weird spot. Did we get the reveal of the protostar being in Murph in episode 1? Yes, I think we did.
Yes, right at the end.
Yeah. That was a nice touch. That was like an actual plan. Oh, yeah, because Zero shows up. Because Zero got beamed down earlier. Yeah. Okay.
With phasers and jetpacks and tricorders in a box.
Yeah, and that made me think they had a plan. Like, beam Zero down with all this equipment, you got a plan. But then in...
Cargo transporter, Stuart. Cargo transporter.
Yep. Falls apart in part 2, though. So, it had a lot of potential. I can't even remember what I said about part 2 now, whether part 1...
Well, we'll get there when we get there, Stuart. We're still on part 1.
I know. But yeah, like I said, this one should have ended with the ship warping out, much like a Voyager episode Basics, where they leave them on the planet and leave. As I go, well, how are you going to get out of this? But the whole, you can stop screaming now, they're gone. Oh, this will make it a little more difficult with the zero gravity, but we've still got this. And you get the jetpacks, and it's like they planned for the zero gravity with the jetpacks almost. But
even though, as we learn in part 2, it's too difficult in zero gravity because they can't get people to move to the escape route. So it scuppers the entire plan. What plan? No plan. Oh, okay, that's fine then.
Yeah. And Ozzy, you keep saying that Murph has a tracking device. Murph does not have a tracking device.
Well,
you said that like for our last few reviews for some reason.
Well, if Murph has a comm badge, he does, but you can see through him, so no, he doesn't.
Comm badge.
No.
Yeah. So he doesn't. So I don't know what you mean by that, Ozzy. But so anyway, this one was a good setup. I just wish they would have ended it a little bit sooner, and not that weird editing hiccup that they had at the end. Honestly, so it was a good part 1 of dire circumstances kind of thing. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
As for me, sort of the big plot hole of the episode is more in that the diviner says, "Come with me within 24 hours," assuming that the robot has been well, remember, Plan A was to take over the ship, and yet for some reason Plan B was a different version of the robot, would still have a message to... It happened to be in the right place, so that was dumb. It should have been, come to me by the 14th of October, which is 2 weeks from now, That it was a plot hole for sure, convenience plot hole. But yeah, certainly the setup feels like a setup, but now the payoff is such a poor payoff. And yet it still feels like the weaker of the two. Now I'm thinking about it right now, because it's all about the setup. And that said though, Dahl's lack of decisiveness to go towards the planet. He's so impulsive and one-dimensional thinking in the first 8. And so to have a scene where everyone's like, yes, we'll go save them. And he's like, yeah, no. That's a hell of a growth and feels very apt. And so they stop and think. And then, I mean, it kind of shows that he might have learned to think, but they're still not smart enough to plan properly. It's kind of what I'm learning here, because they're still children. They have no, especially Rock Doc has no experience of any kind. Literally is a blank slate of experience. And Murph can't say anything.
Before you move on, collect your thoughts for a second, because Ozzy addressed my comment. He said, how did the diviner beam the protostar back to the ship? They say it in dialogue. Before Dreadnought got decapitated, he sent the location, he sent the coordinates of where they were, so they could lock onto the protostar. So he doesn't have a tracking device in him. So there you go. Mm-hmm. Sorry, moving on.
Yep. But I still lament the diviner not being faithful to his word. But also, if the diviner went through time with his ship, he would want to save it more. But knowing that he actually attacked the warp core anyway, he just disabled an energy matrix, which could easily be restarted to the point of easiness. Knowing that, his plan to disable it is just say, now let's kill them by disabling one system. Hey, and they'll come back later and fix it. And it's like, it's that. So that works better now in retrospect because there was never it was just a kill them plan. I don't know why you wouldn't just fire on the docking, like just shoot some torpedoes on the, like they're right there, just, and then once shoot the landing pad. The landing pad falls and breaks and they all die. Easy. That would have been much easier way of killing them was just to kill them. I don't know. This one, in retro, it feels underwhelming, and I don't know why I read it first time. I feel like I like part 2 better.
Yeah.
Even though the payoff wasn't very good, which is so confusing vibe-wise, because I think there's just so many better episodes in season 1 that have their own identity, their own character development, and this one had some of all of it, but not enough to even for me to remember it properly. But I did like the dull moment, but I don't know, score-wise, this is I'm really not doing well here at the end here. I'm gonna have to give it, I think, a 7.5, and that's being generous, I think. No, 7.2. I'm gonna 7.2 it.
I haven't scored this one yet.
No, I was going first.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would put in your slot 7.2 because I just think it's just not. It should have been 5 minutes longer and had a bit more intelligence in some of its sequences. That's my gut. I have zero idea how I'm rating these with the other ones, which I'm so confused about. What do you think?
I'm really confused too.
Like, where are you at? Because that's quite a low score for this, but I don't know, it just feels right, For me, anyway.
I'm conflicted here because as a part 1, it would set up quite a bit of anticipation for part 2 with their plans. Gwen bought us enough time for this crazy plan to work. It's like, okay. So I want to score it higher, but I'm looking at it in retrospect, and it's like, so I want to score it lower, so I don't know what to do with this.
Yeah. Because it's so based on the next one, the enjoyment factor. Like, there's so... I think you'll agree with this. This should have been a 8, 9, and 10 in one episode. Should have been an 8-episode season with 1 and 2 as one episode, and 9 and 10 as one episode. Would have worked so much better.
Yeah. You did the Vulcan salute there.
I know I did.
I want to give it a 7.6.
7. Okay. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Because it's definitely less good than the last one.
Yeah. Kit 10K puts in $10. Them suddenly cutting off episode 9 seems kind of reminiscent of how they ended The Sopranos. Well, it does to me at least. No, The Sopranos was a perfect cutoff point. That cut to black. It would have been, if this would have been similar for The Sopranos, it would have been the cut to black, and then one of the characters I'm going to go talk to him right now, and walk towards the door, and before he gets to the door, they end the episode. That's how this one was cut. The Sopranos ending was perfect for what it was. So I totally disagree with you, Kit 10K, but I will have half a shot because hell yeah.
And Bill asks, is the ship that Jeremy is on actually called the Dauntless, or are you just stating it's Dauntless class?
I already answered him.
I know, but I can say it for everyone else. Yes.
No, you can't.
Oh.
No, go ahead. It's fine.
Yes, it's the USS Dauntless, the actual one. NCC, blah, 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 blah. It's like 80163, something like that. Angel?
8001 something? Oh.
Yeah, it's a pretty
I could look it up.
Yeah.
See who gets to it first.
I'm not even going to try.
Oh, I opened the wrong fucking thing. So you would have got there first anyway.
And then we close off on episode 10. We just reviewed this one. What a oh God, Stuart. We did a problem. We did a thing.
What happened?
We talked about episode 9 for 20 minutes. Ned didn't mention once the uniform change.
It's because who cares?
I know, that's how little impressive it was.
Yeah.
That's really bad because we love uniforms. That's a really bad sign.
Okay. So yeah, I just want to address Bill Barkley. It is USS Dauntless NCC 80816.
Mm-hmm.
So Mario, you're close with 80806, but there's a 1 there instead of the 70. So
nice.
Let's see. Jeff Sturm throws in $10.
Oh.
I earned a certificate today from the University of Cambridge for script writing. Ooh, hashtag cat friend, hashtag Sandra.
Well,
Congratulations.
Wow.
That is awesome. Since you split up the hashtags, I'm going to have a regular drink of this stuff. So.
Well, I'm confused. You graduated from University of Cambridge, but you're donating in dollars. But Cambridge is in the UK. I doubt there'd be a University of Cambridge in America. That'd be insanity for them to steal the name of our most famous.
There is, actually, in Cambridge. Well, Cambridge is in Canada, which is like an hour from me.
But that's not Canadian, though. That's American dollars. Because that seems so dodgy for them to steal our most famous university. It's dodgy for you to do it as well. To steal the most famous Cambridge University name. Jeff, is that USA or is that UK? I didn't know you were from the UK. Did you do well? And what did you pass with flying colours, mild colours, rainbow colours, grey colours? How did you do? Thanks, though. That goes over a nice little milestone. So, episode 10, the closing of part 1, which we just reviewed, which, in retrospect, I think I like more than I liked yesterday.
Really?
Well, because it now feels like a closing chapter of a grand journey that I've got to re-remember. Like, now everything he says connects to everything beforehand. Because we wanted grander themes. We wanted preserver? Diviner storylines. So now re-watching it all, I've connected all those scenes to this last episode. So while it's not by any means satisfying by itself, as a part of a 10-episode arc, it's like, okay, we've learned so much. Also throwing the guy away like a piece of trash, and Dreadlock like a piece of trash as well. But knowing that, they're so unimpressive throughout the rest of the season. So, confusing. But Dahl's good. Like, even though that's the thing.
Oh.
He's in it so little, but he's very evolved. Now I see that much more starkly when the 10 are put together.
And Bill Barkley says, by the way, I can't remember what the Arcturus Dauntless registration was. It was NX01A. Fucking stupid. That was before Enterprise existed, though. So, but yeah, NX01A. So you want me to go first with my last episode, part 10 thing?
Well, I think I just did my review.
That was really quick. Jesus Christ. Okay.
Well, you do that as well. I'll bounce off your one as well. But briefly, Jeff says he did it online. Hope that went well. And Cambridge in Massachusetts. Steal everything.
Well, that's Philadelphia the Great that's answering that. So,
Steal everything.
That's where Harvard is. So.
Terrible.
Anyway, moving on.
Go for it, Stuart.
Yeah, this one was not as good as the first one. The first one built up a lot of anticipation, a lot of excitement, a lot of like, ooh, are they going to get the ship back? How are they going to get it back? What's going on? Part 2 fell flat for me because, like I said, they had no plan. Everything that happened was a coincidence, like using the translator with the manacles, with Dreadnought beaming down and them just quickly dogpiling him and getting killed by a kitten. Stupidity beyond stupidity. You're in a mining facility. Use a mining tool to cut his head off, or at least injure him first. There's a lot of things that did not make sense in part 2. It felt like a very quick wrap up and not a good conclusion to a build up that was good. So the only thing that saved it for me was the last 30 seconds, whatever, with Janeway and the Dauntless. And even that, I was like, bleh, threw up in my mouth quite a bit because I hate the Dauntless design. So when I saw the USS Dauntless registry coming across, I was like, oh, for fuck, no. And then it's even uglier than the Dauntless, this version, which check out our video that was released today because we talk about the differences. Anyway, the bridge is spot on, though. The bridge is great. And the trill with the red boots. Yeah. Anyway, moving on. So I don't know if that last little bit makes up for the disappointment that is the rest of it, because there was no fucking plan. Even if they had gravity, which, as you pointed out, when they restored gravity, how many people died because they were floating like 100 meters in the air and crashed and broke their necks or had mining equipment fall on them. I mean, it's a shitty plan. And then let's give them this future ship. Bye. You fly this thing around. Joy to you. It didn't work for me. This was one of the worst episodes of season 1, in my opinion. And like I said, not that it's bad. It's better than a lot of Discovery episodes, for sure, hands down. However, Prodigy has set the bar so fucking high with their quality that they can't keep improving episode upon episode. There's got to be a bump in the road here and there. and this was the bump in the road for me. That's why it scored a little bit lower than the other ones that I know that I did during the course of the rest of the season. So all that as a one-piece episode, Person 9 and 10 together, not too bad. I mean, they are just kids. They're not trained Starfleet officers, so their plan wouldn't be super great. But even the Janeway, I've been here all along, I work for Starfleet. No, it should have been like evil Janeway program, like glitches and then splits into like the regular Janeway program and be like, I've been hiding in your, whatever for a while, and then have them battle it out somehow, even if it's digitally. And that scene needed to be there. It wasn't. Even the diviner revealing his plan and his history of 50 years and the planet exists right now, but I got to stop first contact, and his stupid idea of like this computer virus that when it runs into another Federation ship is just, there's crews on board those ships. They're not going to be affected. They're going to shut the goddamn ships down. That's what Starfleet does. The ships have acted up before. They fix it. It's fine. Plus, you're not going to affect everybody. You're not going to jump into the entire fleet and affect everybody all at once. It's going to be a slow progression, 1 or 2 ships at a time, and they're going to figure that shit out before then. So your plan's fucking stupid. Coming from the future, learning that was kind of nice, but overall, as a second part, it's awful. It's not as good as part 1. I'm sorry, but you're wrong. So, boom.
Your score then?
My score then, I'm going to give it a 6.8. It's still better than a lot of New Trek. A lot better than a lot of Picard and a lot of Discovery.
Because it didn't insult in many ways. It was. So the problem is, though, is that you have phenomenal points there, Stuart. That's the problem with that,
I know.
Because I'm so taken up as by that last scene, the promise of more, as in Discovery Season 2. Discovery Season 2 tricks you because at the end of almost every episode, it promises a tease of next week, and it's fantastic. It drops the ball almost every single time, but it gives you the end epicness. This is the exact same thing. But yes, lack of plan, Dreadnought, Diviner. I love time stuff, so I love that, all that things.
I do too.
But the setup wasn't very good either, though. Like, really.
If that last 30 seconds had been 5 minutes of the episode, then I would have been like, all right, maybe I can forgive a few things. But honestly,
or if we'd seen a flash forward and onto a Solum, the Diviner's planet, we've seen like a Federation fleet arrive, and they're like Gen Hay proper Finnish variants, and like scene, and there's Captain Ezri Dax, who's young enough to be a captain. You know what I mean? Like scene.
Yes.
That would have been epic. That would have really upped it. You know what? I think I'll take. I think I
changed your mind.
Yeah, but I mean, Symphony's not a good score anyway, really. For the first one.
No.
So I think I'll drop it to a 7. I think I'll agree with just. I think it does drop the ball in a few ways that are meaningfully worse, but the setup's not good either.
If the whole episode had been the last 30 seconds of like, we found this thing, oh, it's Chakotay, we gotta go find him.
Or started there.
Then it would have been a 9.7. But honestly, tacking that on last second of a mediocre episode doesn't make the whole episode good. I'm sorry.
Well, and that's the thing. Without that, it would have been 5. 5
Yeah, it would have been lower for sure.
Yeah, which is sad, but a scene can improve it. Gosh, the scores. I am really intrigued to see what we say, because I did this earlier, but I have no idea. Wow.
Before we reveal the super chats that have built up.
Okay.
Which you guys are awesome, by the way. Thank you for being here.
Yes.
You guys are amazing.
And we hope you guys are enjoying.
To feel my alcohol for sure.
And let me finish the poll. I'm doing a new poll though briefly. So we asked for the last 4 episodes, which was your favourite? Yes. The winner though is the last episode with 34%, Stuart.
That's because
I'm wrong. I'm sorry, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. The winner is Time Mark, the time travel one, by 38%. Okay, but the second best is Moral Star Part 2, 34%. Third best is First Contact with 19%, and last is Moral Star Part 1 and 9%.
That's a trick though. That's a marketing trick that people do with media, is throw the really good stuff in at the last second because your brain remembers. That's what you remember. You come off that show with a high. Yeah. So you remember the whole fucking show as a high, and it's not when you logically think about it. That's a marketing trick. Guys, you fell for a marketing trick. Stop it. Not that it was bad. It was better than a lot of new Trek. But anyway, moving on. I'll get to the super chats now, if that's okay with you. Okay, good. JL Robertus, $5. Protostar Alcars makes me crave wild berry Skittles. Okay. I don't get it, but okay. It's fine. The colors aren't that similar. Plus, there's a lot of blue. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I have to drink for that, though, if it was $5. Which I'm almost out of that, by the way. Dave, £5. Thank you for your review. I see you based the Trekyards logo on the OG Dauntless shit. Oh, fuck you. I designed that logo, and no, there's nothing to do with the fucking Dauntless. Yeah. Do I think the ensign is the same character model as Gwen? Maybe. Actually, in episode 3, where they show the talking about the Federation, you see the Vulcan, you see the Andorian, and you see this lady. It's the same character model as this Trill, by the way. I don't know if they use just that character, and it's supposed to be a Trill even in the blue. Anyway, it looks the same. But anyway, drink for that one as well. General Grievous, $2. Only so much you can fit into 24 minutes, unfortunately. It's true. Prodigy needs to be 45-minute length because they do really good jobs.
Well, you know what? Give us a flat 30. 6 more minutes would be a massive difference. That's all. Yep. These really do just suffer from time. But Stuart, read out the poll.
Ooh, a new poll. As I'm about to read it, it closes. Good job. What did you think of today's Trekyards retrospective? Thank you for your opinions. Great analysis. Learn lots. A bit nitpicky, guys. Your reviews are good as the episodes.
I thought I'd be a bit, self-indulgent there. See what you guys think.
Why wasn't one of those options kneel before us as we are your gods?
I mean, that's all of them. Let's be honest. That comes with territory.
All right.
Okay, fantastic. So,
I'm not done.
Okay.
Chest read still. 2 of them.
Okay.
Kit 10K throws in $20. Sweet. Your idea of the Hollow Janeway splitting and fighting is the same thing they did in Superman 3. Still would have worked though. Hashtag both drink. Hey, it needed to happen. We were like, hey, it'd be cool to see a Janeway versus Janeway thing. And that could sound dirty, depending. Wasn't versus Janeway on Janeway. Anyway, but we didn't get that, and it's a bit of a shame. So
yeah, it feels like that was set up, and yet it wasn't.
Erevic Sonder, Captain, where did you get the L-Cars behind you? I want one. Those were old L-Cars apps you can download for the iOS, but you can't download them anymore. But that's an old iPad, so they're still all on there. So, Dave, I'm going to have a drink in a second. Kit 10K, don't worry. Dave, £2. What does it compare to other mid-season breaks? Well, there are no other mid-season breaks, so for Discovery and
because 5 episodes of Discovery, well, technically it's 10 episodes of this length of a show. They've had a way more story. Then in Discovery's mid-season, like, okay.
Yeah, those.
Yep. Let's get more story. Let's let the story begin.
Those little bottles are legit a full shot. This is like a cinnamon.
Ooh, that is a shot.
This is like a fireball.
Good stuff.
Oh, that's good. It reminds me of Christmas, though.
Merry Christmas, Stuart. And everyone,
Merry Christmas to you too.
Thank you.
Ooh, somebody got the. Ooh, who did it? Matt Boardman. Matt is paying attention. Good job, Matt. Thank you, Matt.
Hi, Matt.
I've killed a bunch of bots already, but he got one, so that's good.
And
He's busy working.
And can we all wish Matt luck for his crappy last couple of weeks? Well, I mean, last 2 or 3 weeks. Can we all wish him luck, please, in the chat? Because he's not doing. He's trying really hard to get us good content. Well, not us, Netflix, but yeah, he's not doing so well.
Good luck, Matt.
Thank you
Matt. For being a friend. Thank you for being a friend.
I'm sure Chris Hemsworth appreciates all your diligence if he knew who you were.
Eric Sander, please make me a mod, please. I love whacking bots. Not that easy. We have a whole chat with the mods. We vet our mods and It's a whole thing.
Yeah, we spay and neuter them because we have a vet.
Like a job. Yes, we definitely spay and neuter our mods because have you seen these people?
I try not to see them. They're too fantastic looking. See, they're like they're like Zero. You know, if you stare at our mods too long, they just burn your soul. See, I saved it, didn't I? Did a good job.
Why I'm a little bit unstable because I looked at one or two of them a little too long.
Yeah,
but I'm not quite totally mad.
Well, I was wondering why you got a hotel room with Jeff for like a week. We were all a bit confused by that.
Because I love hearing him say 150, 150, 150.
Oh, so that's how much you cost for a weekend.
Yeah. And 150 per minute. So every minute.
Lucky you only lost a minute.
He's never going to hear this because he hasn't been a mod on here for. Well, he's still a mod, but he never shows up. So.
That's how I amuse myself.
Arabic Sander, if you keep showing up and tell people to hit like and all that, we can consider adding you, but the other mods need to agree to it and stuff. So just make your name known and seen, and help out when you can.
Back in 1 second.
Okay. 91 likes, 53 people here, guys. Hit that like button. Let's try to get 9 more likes, get to 100. We have finished this season, this half season of Prodigy, because there's still 10 more episodes coming out in the next few months. But it was a good mid-season break. Definitely felt like a season finale, but it was not. I think initially they had planned to have 10 episodes per season, much like all the other shows. But that got changed right away. They did get approved for season 2 really quickly, and this planned a 40 episode arc. Because I was talking to the showrunner last night, and that's the thing. So they had time to plan for a 40 show arc, which is nice because it's definitely showing here with the way they laid everything out. So where was I going with that? I have no idea what happened. I'm confused. Thank God tomorrow's Sunday because Stuart can sleep in with the sore head, all that. I know, Bill. They're starting to take hold. Are these all empty? Yeah, these are all empty. So, and I had some shots of the other thing too. Plus this is empty, almost.
Alright, who's ready for scores then?
Me.
Okay, so your original ninth place, but the original least favorite place was the last episode with 6.7.
Okay.
That's how you originally reviewed it.
Okay.
This time round, you also reviewed it the worst at 6.8.
Oh, yes.
So you were slightly higher, but not much.
To be fair, that was just reviewed this week, so
yes.
I didn't even remember it though. But yeah, okay.
Yes. Your second least favorite was episode 3, Starstruck, with a 7.
Mm-hmm.
This time, your least favorite was episode 9. No, hold on.
My second least favorite.
Wait, hold on. Wait, there's a lot of documents here. Hold on. Did I get that right? Hold on. Wait, hold on. Oh, because okay, hold on. Because I named that wrong, that's why. Okay, that's why I'm confused. Okay, hold on. That's gonna go there. Okay. Okay. Yes, okay, so originally you gave it a 6.7, 6.8 this time. Last time you gave episode 3 was your second least favorite with a 7. Now it's Lost and Found, 7.5. So episode 1/2.
Okay.
Your third least favorite was Time and Mock with also a 7.
Honestly, the first episode's always hard because the first episode of a series, it's hard to judge and base that on. So.
Now your third least favorite is Moral Star Part 1 at 7.6. So already your scores are higher this time round. You were lower the first time round, which is interesting. Then you had Moral Star Point Part 1 at 7.2. In this new retrospective, then you have episode 3 with 8. So already everything's higher. Then, middle of the road originally, you had Lost and Found with 7.5.
Okay.
Middle of the road this time around is Time Walk at 8.4. So already almost a full point higher than middle of the middle.
Yeah. My
Then
averages went up.
A lot. Which I thought, I didn't think that was going to happen. Then you had Terra Firma with 7.7. This time you had 8.4 Time Mock. Then your First Contact wins your number 3 versus Terra Firma with your number 3 8.75. So only 1.5 difference. Originally, Dreamcatcher was your second favourite, 8.7, episode 4.
What?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. Which went down from number 2 to your number 4. But about the same score. So other stuff just went higher. So yeah, you thought Death Planet Part 1 was your second favourite originally. 8.7. Wow. This time, First Contact at 9.25. Big old jump.
The highest?
Yeah. It went from being your third to your second favourite.
Sorry, you cut out there. What was that?
First Contact went from your third to your second favourite, going from 8.6 to 9.25. So it really went up.
Okay.
And then Kobayashi was your favourite in both timelines. Originally gave a 9.5, this time you have a 9.6. So actually a lot of changes and overall higher scores. What do you think, Stuart?
Alcohol doesn't help. I think so highly of this show after watching these 10 episodes and then rewatching them. It's like I just was in a more positive mood, I guess.
I thought we'd be more critical as well. I'll be honest. I don't know about you. I thought we'd been,
Well, I was looking for faults and I couldn't really find many. Like I said, I didn't watch through with a reviewer's perspective. I watched it with a viewer's perspective, which is different.
Yeah.
So,
but just to reiterate, your lowest was Starstruck, episode 3, 6.5. Whereas this new time, God, that's weird, isn't it? The Sun one, your lowest at 6.5. This time around, it's a Moral Star Pot, the season finale at 6.8. And your favourite was Kobayashi in both situations. Dang, there you go. So,
well, there's some consistency there.
Some, yeah. But I mean, the top 3 are the same top 3, just differently ordered. No, I'm lying. Terra Firma is... Yeah, Terra Firma went from 3rd to 4th. Wow, yeah, really.
Close enough.
Okay. So yeah, and then my review scores. My least favourite originally was episode 3 at 6.5. Which I'd definitely like more this time around. And similar to you, my least favourite this year was actually the season opener at 6.8. So in fact, my score also increased somewhat. My second least favourite was Time Mock originally, 6.8. So the 2 standalone one-offs I gave the lowest.
Okay.
My new lowest, second, is Moral Star Part 2 at 7. So closer. Then the season opener at 7, which actually now matches my lowest third, Starstruck now. So 7 and 7. So we've found parity already. My fourth lowest originally was Moral Star Part 1 at 7, which matches my new lowest fourth, Moral Star Part 1, 7.2. Then originally 7.2 Moral Star Part 2, which has now dropped several points to match Dreamcatcher 7.5, which is my fourth favourite last time, 7.8, which now is my fourth is Terra Firma, which was Dreamcatcher. So yeah. So my third original favourite was Terra Firma. My new third favourite is Time Mock, which has certainly shifted a bit. No, it hasn't. Hold on. I'm just going to start from the top again, just so... Okay. My new favourite, Kobayashi Maru, but both times I gave 9.5. My second favourite both times is First Contact, but I've upped the score to 9 from 8.7. My third favourite was Terra Firma. My new third favourite is Time Mock. Okay, so I'm pretty consistent. I've shifted one or two, but top two are the same. But the bottom is what's changed drastically. And yeah, the last episode is the second worst in my new list, and was middle of the road, the original list. And your least favourite is also the season finale, both times. So we're all basically, we always think the season finale is the worst, give or take. Oops. There you go.
Yeah, that was fun though.
Whew.
So,
Complicated.
damn.
What do you guys think? That's also the question.
Yeah, like, have you guys had fun watching this? How many of you through since the beginning? Want to hear your thoughts? To just chat now for a little bit. So, you guys are important to us.
Yeah, very close. Very important.
Yes, Donnie, Strange New Worlds premieres in 3 months' time.
Oh my gosh.
May 5th, the day after May the 4th be with you. So after Star Wars Day, it's coming Star Trek, like Strange New Worlds, which is awesome.
There's going to be so many things. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But
So,
that's
yeah.
okay. I'm fine with a lot of sci-fi going on.
Yeah, me too. So, guys, we'll go for another 5 minutes. Anything you guys want to talk about? If we get another $20, that'd be great. But we've already done pretty darn well. So $20 and we're done.
Oh, and Kit 10K, you got to do your matchy thing.
Mm.
Hold on one second. I just got to mute you for just a second.
Well, meet yourself, yes. Yeah, no, wow. I think lots learned. I think retroactively, it's definitely a good show for sure. And I will ask Stuart then, how does... So how do you now feel about the show compared to Lower Decks? Now you've totally rewatched it so far.
Still one of the best new tracks. I love the animated stuff. Lower Decks is its own beast because of the humor that's involved and all Easter egg references in every episode. Multiple scenes packed with Easter eggs. This one doesn't have quite as many, but it does have some really good canon on point Easter eggs. Not necessarily Easter eggs, which are kind of in your face, but they both do canon really well. As far as my favorite out of the two of them, I can't pick. They're different creatures. They're totally different vibes all around. I can't. It's like asking to pick your favorite kid, which mine's Cassie. But anyway, I can't do that because they're different scales.
Okay, let me throw one curveball at you in that.
Okay.
Did you like Mariner, Boimler, Rutherford, Tendi, Tiana, Ransom, and Freeman more after 10 episodes than Rot-Tot, Gwen, Dahl, Hollow Janeway, Murph, and Zero? Can I just get a round of applause there for remembering all 20 fucking main characters?
Yeah.
You
didn't miss any, like your thumbnail, dumbass.
Bastard.
Anyway, just kidding. Oh my god, I like them differently though. Like, the kids are kids, so you can't help but not kind of like them because they're innocent and they're just trying to be. Oh my god, I don't know. I present you the same question because I want to hear your answer because I really don't have an answer.
Although you say innocent,
I care about them all.
They say innocent. Zero made a guy mad on purpose. Gwen is a stabby assassin who does something. Dahl deliberately tried to betray a planet, etc. Rot-Tok.
Like, why can't we compare these guys to the Picard characters?
Well, it's not a comparison, is it?
Raffi's a junkie.
It's not a comparison!
Prodigy wins then. Boom.
No,
As for Lower Decks and Prodigy, you can't.
No,
They're all great characters.
No, I totally enjoyed. I think I would totally enjoy the Lower Decks characters more. I like them all better after 10 than these guys.
Okay.
These guys aren't bad by any means. But
Who's your favorite Prodigy character?
Gwen.
See, mine's Zero. I love
Okay.
Zero.
I like Gwen because she has the most pre-existent skill, a certain swagger to her of talent, which I like.
She looks good in her bobsled uniform. When she walks away from the camera in that one scene, it's like, oof, hate to see you go, but I'd love to watch you leave.
And you'll be asking, where's the zip? I'll help you with the zip.
Yeah.
And I still love rewatching. I really appreciate the design of the alien for Gwen. Really, really good design. Subtle yet alien. Very, very nicely done. But I think Lower Decks achieved a lot more in less time. I like the characters more. They had more unique stories. They had more canon-based stories. They had more aliens. They had bigger swings of the pendulum. Some succeeded less, but some succeeded more. The ending was certainly better with the Titan. So I think Lower Decks still for me wins that slot because they're just different stories. Lower Decks was we're lucky to get one. We hope we're going to get two. Boom, we get two. Okay, great. But we'll end on one if we need to. This is we've got 40. That's not a place you can judge from. But I think the characters wise, I same preferred the Lower Decks guys, which is not to diminish these people. That's not a negative. Just
that's Starfleet versus civilian though.
Yes, I like Starfleet more. I'm sorry.
I do too.
Yeah.
But you can't compare the two of them. Anyway.
But I asked the question. I gave an answer. And yes, no one did donate for any costume changes. It was there, but no, this time it was all about the retrospectiveness of it, which is fine.
It's fine. I didn't really want to do costume changes.
Yeah, I was happy not to as well.
Dave throws in £2 and
Thanks.
says, "How does it compare to other mid-season breaks?" So I read that one already. Never mind. There are no other mid-season
You
breaks.
got a free drink there.
SPS Guru at 2,005 euros. Most favorite Moral Star Part 1. Least favorite by far, Kobayashi. Oof. What the fuck, dude?
Wow. That is that's
I guess you don't like the fan service.
But hot take, man. That's a statement.
Yeah. Brian Trump throws in $20.
Oh.
No comment.
Thank you.
I'll take a drink for that. JL Roberts $5. Hashtag JL Roberts us drink. Oh, so us and you drink. Oh, yeah.
I support that. I look forward to Mark's super
Kit
chat.
10K throws in a red one with $100.
Mike, drop. Damn.
That's I think matching the top one. I don't know what he's doing. The highest I could see was around $20. So here's my match, and surpassing of it with a big amount. Hashtag both huge drink. I'll have another shot for that.
I'm gonna finish this one.
Everything's so sweet.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try this non-sweet one. This
Everything.
brandy Slivovich shit. It's 40% alcohol. Fucking toxic jet fuel. A great way to kind of end it.
Okay. I have lots of empty cups on my table.
I do too. I got 4 empty little bottles. Those are all gone. I got an empty can, and yeah.
I do think though that the episodes 11 to 20 will be stronger. But as a setup season, this is very, very strong. But we can't expect to love this. It's like Voyager season 1 when who the hell is Chakotay? Who the hell is Kim? That takes time. But they did a very, very good job, and I think it probably will still get for me the third best first season. TOS Lower Decks this, but happily. Voyager's a very close fourth though, but it comes out swinging in a way that Voyager didn't. Confidence that show just didn't have.
They know their audience. These guys in Lower Decks know their audience,
and it's so fucking refreshing to see they have a plan. You can feel it in your soul.
They planned for 40 episodes, apparently. They knew they were getting a season 2 right away, so they did a 40-episode arc, and it's showing because they're seeding these little things.
It's so nice.
And paying some off and not paying others off.
It's so nice. And there's going to be time travel. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if they go back in time, etc. There's so many things you can do with it. Because remember, they've set precedents. We've seen a beautiful Decora, beautiful Bird of Prey, beautiful Klingons. That's right, I said beautiful. And canon uniforms. Like 95% each. So there you go. So there's a precedent of they will respect canon. So if they go back in time, they will respect canon and use it. Which is really nice to see, Yeah.
Erevik Sonder throws in $1. So thank you so much.
Those do help. Thank you.
Ooh, Jeffrey Sturm just sent me something. This is from the course that I took online. Mentioned this on the live feed today.
Yeah.
Verified certificate for building your screenplay. Ooh, nice.
Fantastic.
From Cambridge, University of Cambridge. Right there. It's the official thingy.
Double congratulations.
Good job, man.
Well done.
Mark Lawrence, though, throws in $5. So thank you so much, Mark.
Thank you.
What would you have thought if it were Riker showing up with the Titan at the end of I would have laughed because he's kind of become the new trope of saving the day and everything. So, yeah, it would have been good, but I would have been kind of disappointed at the same time. So,
yeah, it would have made my my heart be like, yeah.
Brian Trump throws in $20. Pug sounds like a bantha. I mean, most of the time, yeah. She's been under my desk here sleeping. She's not too loud right now. So. I need a drink for that shit. I don't want to drink anymore. Okay. I have to. Buck up, Stuart. Nobody hear you talking to yourself. It's fine. So let's show. Paul Thomas, £5. It's nice to have a plan instead of the J.J. Abrams mystery box bullshit. Hey, I will drink to that.
Yes.
Let's see what I pour for that one. I'll pour the honey stuff. I'll pour the blackberry stuff for that one. And Kit 10K, I'll combine it with that one, which is $10. Hey, Samuel, that burp you made was a 6 out of 10. But I'll give it a 7. Give it a 6.75.
And I know you weren't keen on the point system when we got started, but it's so important.
It is. I saw the importance of it. How I thought it was cheating a bit because it should be more hardline, boom, 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 either 8.5, 8, or 9. But I get the subtlety of it because there's a lot of subtlety in these episodes. So yeah, I adopted it rather late, but hey, it is what it is.
Welcome to the pod.
We should have talked about that beforehand before we started doing it because I didn't agree with it from the beginning.
Yep.
It's the cheap man's way of doing it.
It's not!
It is, totally.
Well, and this is why, and I do think for the next 10 we can do the versus all of Star Trek scoring, because that's so important, because there's several of these where you had matching scores, and I just had to guess which one you probably liked a bit more. You know, but those scores really, really help in redefining those overalls. Because I think it's got its footing, we know its footing. I think that'll be a helpful thing. Because especially as, I mean, come on, they're going to Federation space. We're going to see some Federation stuff in Season 1, Part 2. You know, there's going to be a lot more of that, we hope. And, not to brag, but the showrunner messaged me last night and said, hey, sorry we used the Dauntless. Not a showrunner. He's Ed Brewster. Well, yes. And writer. But he said, sorry we used the Dauntless. We know you hate it, but we'll make up for it with more ships we're going to be showing. So, hey, looking forward to... Oh, yeah. Shh, quiet. Loose lips, sink ships. But I'm drunk, so it's fine. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, this wasn't a super long live Drunkyards compared to a lot of our other ones. Exactly according to schedule. I said 10. It was. It's 10. Yeah. Perfect.
It was concise. It was succinct. It was good. And
we did good, Stuart.
I'm really impressed.
And we got a super chats. Thank you, everybody, because we do certainly live off these. Very much so. Yes. And yesterday was also fantastic, and so these combined are a big confidence boost the rest of the month.
To the month. Yeah.
We've got a baseline to welcome more of the month, because Discovery it normally it's quite a well viewed thing, but last half season for some reason just not as much interest.
Was that a legit cough?
Oh yeah, I've got I've got a thing in my throat. This is a thing. So guys, I'll finish with one more poll. My question was, what did you think today's Trekyards Retrospective? What do you think of it? Winner, great analysis, learned lots. 43%. Hey, excellent. 31%. Thank you for your opinions. Hey, you're welcome. 14%. Your reviews are as good as the episodes are. Hey, thank you. And a bit nitpicky, guys. Oh, 12%.
Whoever voted for that, go get the fuck out of here. Just kidding.
We're ejecting you along with the unnecessary material. That's.
I even thought some things we talked about were nitpicky on this watch through. It's like, yeah, just enjoying it. It's fine.
But that's
I
not
wasn't
how.
in reviewer mode, you know.
Yeah, but if you don't judge them properly, then they'll make similar mistakes. You've got to. As any show can get over stuff, you know.
Bill Barkley says, "Oh, Will Stewart covered the Book of Boba Fett finale.
Ooh.
It's finale with an E, not final. But if it turns out to be great, oh well, I've reviewed them all so far. I'm not going to stop at the finale and be like, I'm not going to review that one because I've covered all the other ones. Of course, I will. Doing that, I'll be covering all the Orville's when they come out as well, which we probably won't have time to cover together, unfortunately.
I mean, we'll try the first one, see how it goes. Let's be honest. I mean, we'll see. We'll see how the interest is. So I'd like to talk about them.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. But yes, that stuff will all be covered in some form or another. So you can always come here to talk about that kind of new sci-fi stuff. That's what we're here for. Dave puts in £2. Love the animation style, references. Good start. Damn good start. I mean, this is a great way to kick off a series.
And knowing we have 30 more at least.
Yes.
Oh,
yes,
that's a good feeling. Well, it's like knowing Mike has a season 4.
we're only a quarter of the way through. 1/4, 1 quarter, not 1 or 4. Nobody knows what I'm talking about except for a few moderators that aren't even fucking here, and Samuel. And look at the look I'm getting. So, anyway, moving on. What are you saying?
It's like knowing Mike has a full season 3 and a full season 4 commissioned. That's such a nice feeling. At least 2 more seasons. That's phenomenal. No. So I also
Brian
live.
Trump throws in $20 with no comment. That's another shit.
I mean, you guys are fantastic. I know we don't necessarily say it enough, but you guys are fantastic because we do this stuff. You know we do the free content all the time. We put our heart and soul into it. You know, these 4 videos we've done for this one, a lot of detailed stuff in. We're really proud of it.
Yes.
You know,
huge videos coming out in the next few days. You gotta watch.
Do these debates, do these discussions. We know we're not super well viewed on YouTube, but we have this audience that loves us. We love the breakdowns. No one does that level of depth.
Yeah. Not super viewed on YouTube, not the subscriber count we want, but we're being watched by the people that matter, people that work on the shows and are influential, and they care about our opinions. So that's very important to us.
Yes, exactly. It's a different sort of success, and we're very proud of that.
Yes.
And what we can add to the discussion. Yeah.
Yeah.
So read the new poll, Stuart.
We got a new poll. What the hell? Shane Ackery, $2, working today but been listening. Good analysis. It's a great poll. I don't know how to vote on that though. Oh, it's not the poll. How excited are you for Disco Season 4 Part 2? Very excited. Medium excited. Or meh. Or nope, not interested. We'll read those results in a minute, but we have over 100 likes, which is awesome, guys. Thank you so much. We'll go vote on the poll. We got 23 votes. Let's try to get to at least 35. At least 35 people.
And as I want to talk about briefly though, what do you think of Boba Fett, Book of Boba Fett, Episode 5, the Luke Skywalker one?
Ooh. Spoilers to anybody that hasn't watched it. Get out of here now. I thought it was fucking great. It should have been a movie. Yeah, I mean it was just so well done, and they've treated Luke properly. Like they're giving him the arc that he needed, because after Rian Johnson fucked the dog on that. So yes, thank God. And the deepfake has improved immensely. One or two moments with the blinking eyes thing and a little bit of the teeth that are a little off, but they hired that guy that redid their footage from the last episode of the last season of Mandalorian with Luke. They hired him on, and it's paid dividends because it's so great now. So keep it up. It can only get better from here, and I'm looking forward to more. That's all I can say. Although I never wanted to punch Luke more in the face than I did at the end of that episode, because bastard. But I think it's a test, actually, because he did say to Ahsoka earlier that I don't think his heart's in it. And I think this is to test how dedicated he is to being a Jedi, and if he does choose that, he will get both. That's kind of my thinking. Could be a test. But I get the attachment thing, but at the same time, fuck you, Luke. You know what I mean? Like,
well, the Jedi are known for tests. So, and it's funny because they, a review, whatever it was, I think it was IGN, I believe, or get one of those. They said they thought, can we just please get away from Luke Skywalker and the Skywalkers? If he's in it, have him as a cameo, nothing more. Stop dwelling. And I thought, did you miss the point of this?
Yeah,
how is that the comment you take away from that? Like,
yeah.
It you know, from my perspective, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was a really great Star Wars episode. And considering that was a TV show, and as I said to you in previous sort of lives, where often these things are statements of intent. Having Luke Skywalker at the end of season 2 Mandalorian was a mic drop. We did it. We threw money at the wall. We have this moment of pure clarity and glory. And I did tear up hearing the music. Like, it was a moment of you can never experience it like that again. That's a one-off.
Yeah.
And if you never came back, you've had your moment. It was pure gold, right? But deepfake, fine, whatever. It wasn't the purpose. That's not the point. It was amazing.
I was more excited to see R2.
I know. And then,
which his deepfake was great. He was like he had names today.
I made a joke while watching it saying, God, R2D2, I know he charges so much for his appearance, but thank God they brought him back. They put that money in because he doesn't, he looks great for his age. Yeah. He always comes back if they ask him. Money speaks with R2, No, but the fact that they actually had Luke again, not episode 6, episode 5, tells the audience that he's a real character. He's not a gimmick of, boom, here's Luke. Here is a Cell moment. Like Riker, who did end up being more of just a gimmick character overall. And not just that, he got about half the episode, which he's a fully CGI-faced character. That's really impressive. That is a statement of this character is important. Which, yes, he defeated the entire Empire. He's the most important guy in the universe right now. Treat him like that. Respect him. Utilize him for his skills. Yes! And no one would have predicted they'd use him for that many minutes. And every time they got back to him, it's amazing they did more. And yes, the deepfake was much better. It was not perfect, but it was far more believable. It felt more like...
It was like 93% to being perfect. It was really well done.
Well, it was the difference between he looked like Luke, he felt like Luke, but the acting wasn't there. Because the actor obviously had to act far more still. But they had so many moments for him, and you don't test deepfake to that level of extreme normally. So they just threw money at that. And I mean, that episode entirely, with very few sets, but they had almost every guest star from Mandalorian back. Ahsoka takes, I'm sure, like 4 or 5 hours to get into makeup. Expensive episode. And
only 20 minutes to get out of her makeup.
Well, yeah. And to have Ahsoka and Luke together, I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of the I'm not driven by the animated ones, but that's I know how important that is. That's lovely. She's the only living person that knew Luke's father. And considering Dave Filoni and such helped invent the character, I mean, if you're now the master of the sandbox, put the toys together. You've got money being thrown at you. Do it. That's what we would do as fans, So why aren't they doing it? And it was great. It was very appropriate. It was very, very nice. Baby Yoda, great to see. Great training stuff. The jumping was fun. I was surprised about Yoda's lightsaber. That I thought was quite like ooh, hello. But it was in his tent. It was in his hut. Why not? Sure. I mean, and hey, the prequel flashback was lovely. First time I've seen live action Clone Troopers in 20 years. That was lovely. Always want to see more, but we haven't got there yet. And Mando was great. Really, really charismatic for what he was. No, it was really, really nice to see. Luke being Luke, truly being Luke. And I imagine Mark Hamill was so happy with this. Literally forced to do Last Jedi despite not wanting to, and then getting true Mark Hamill stuff. And if they can do it this way, I mean, they might use more of him, which I encourage. Maybe not to that extent necessarily, but I certainly encourage more of the character. He's great.
I do too, yeah. And I want to ask you a question, but first I want to just do one thing that I should have at the beginning of this, which I forgot. I'm going to give a shout out to Katie and Max Torres from Joe and the Trekyards team. Hello, Katie and Max.
Hi, guys.
Completely forgot. Other than that, we'll get to the super chats real quick, and then I'll ask you my question.
Yeah.
Brian Trump, $20. So I'll have another shot for that.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Brian. And
Amazing.
Kit 10K, $5. By the way, my dog Jack is watching you guys again. He must be your biggest four-legged fan, Trekyards fan. No. Well, maybe, but Peanut Misha's dog, Peanut, little Chihuahua, really loves this as well. And Peanut will listen to me, and I can give him commands from the live, and he'll listen to me. So that's kind of funny. But anyway, my question: are you on board with all these the hate towards Cad Bane's look? He's not blue enough. Blah blah blah. Spoilers. What is your thought on that? Because as soon as I saw him in the distance, I knew who it was. I could tell by the coat, the cut of the coat. Yeah, your thoughts.
So I like him fine from the show. I'm not again in love with the character, so I haven't got the same personal connection to him. That was spoiled for me early on. I knew he was in the episode fine, which is great. I mean, hey, I appreciate him spoiled, not Luke stuff spoiled, because I didn't think Luke. I thought they were going to not
you didn't
show.
Get that Oh yeah, that was spoilers. Yeah, that's the one I would want.
Yeah, because I thought they were going to show everything but Luke. I thought maybe he'd be like a distance in Ahsoka, because they didn't have to hire him, and Ahsoka could walk up to him. It's like, oh no, he's in it. He's in it. How much? So yeah, that wasn't spoiled. I mean, that was fine. I thought it was a pretty dull scene in terms of like his acting. Like he didn't.
Yeah.
Like he wasn't as charismatic as I remember him being from the show. I thought his look was fine. I can't tell if he was CGI or makeup, which is a good sign.
It was both. I think the eyes were CGI. The rest was makeup.
Yeah, I would assume both as well. But I liked how that was so integrated. I was fine. I don't think he had a good enough part, but I'm really excited he's in it.
Well, it's just an introduction. I think it was great for an introduction.
Yeah, well, exactly. It's a even if you don't know who he is, he's I mean, that's a pretty bold makeup choice for aliens. I was fine. I mean, I didn't even think he looked very different. I'll be honest, because the translation from live action to not is a hard thing to do, and I did, however, see after the fact a version of him improved, and it did look better to me with brighter, and they changed the face. I liked that better, but I didn't dislike.
He's an older Cad Bane now.
Much older.
Maybe the color fades.
Yeah.
He's been in the Tatooine sun.
Yeah.
Who the fuck knows? Like, a lot could influence that.
Yeah, I had no problem with it, but I'm not as whatever. So that I felt like other fans that say, well, who cares you change the Klingons? It was not quite the same thing in that example, but, you know, I had the same fan reaction. I was fine with it. I hope episode 6 is as good as... I'm hoping for Han Solo to show up, personally. That's my big want.
Yeah.
I mean, and very, very... You know, I'm hoping, personally, for, you know, we've got money, let's spread it around. We're going to have and I'll get into this... I will get into it here, just in case it does happen.
I'm do a live talking about The Mandalorian, for sure.
Yeah.
Or, Book of Fett, fuck.
Yeah. I mean, maybe I'll join you for that last one review. Just do it earlier in the day, so I can talk about it. I'm hoping personally, and you guys let me know in the chat if you haven't. This is going to suck. But I'm hoping that they said, right, we own everything, we have money, we're going to do a scene where we need muscle, right? Well, there's only 2 years after her Jedi, so Han is still a smuggler. Like, he's still dodgy as well. So they're gonna hire him, and because a teaser of Boba is enough to get him back, it's like Boba's alive, and so you're gonna have him walk in, de-aged, Harrison Ford doing his thing while he's still enough to play the part, de-aged obviously. And then you have that scene of Boba and him together, which that catharsis of 30 years ago. You tried to kill me, you tried to kill me, you did kill me, I did kill you. We're all square. We're all square. Like, that'll be a really good scene. And then at the end, after they deal with the situation, X-Wing shows up, Luke Skywalker and Grogu, and then Luke and Han can have a scene in front of the Falcon where they finally, after Rian Johnson and the current 3 trilogies screwed us, and you have each of them interacting like brothers, because they feel like brothers, have that moment, the actors finally on set together. Harrison might say yes because he's doing it with Mark, which they didn't get ever to do. And then, doubling down briefly, you have that really quick, nice scene, like just brothers in arms. And then Han walks up to the Falcon, up the ramp, and you see a pregnant Leia on the ramp. CGI doesn't say anything. Just
Chewie behind her, because
Chewie's in the episode. Chewie's in the episode. He's part of the muscle. Chewie's just there. He's just there. But you see pregnant Leia, and then like Luke gets to like either nod, like do a thing for Leia, who then smiles.
Or touch the belly.
I'm just
strong with the Force this one.
Yeah, I'm going for distance just for the moment. But then you see Han and Leia like hug at the end. I mean, obviously, CGI Leia with CGI Han face hug. It's like, okay, good. They had a few years of nice togetherness with the baby. That'd be lovely. and then actually a scene of all three in the same scene would be just, this is their one chance, it feels like. You know, or like, you know, it's different to have CGI Leia with a CGI voice like that, so that is a real level of extra. But you can manage a scene with it, but just have all three together. I mean, all of the fans wanted it, and they betrayed us to not give it us. And so again, see all three de-aged or reincarnated. I mean, that's what I think might end. What do you think? And then you, the last scene is then Grogu being Mandalorian, and that's the end scene. But what do you think of my idea there?
And that leads into Mandalorian season 3. No, I think that's great. They definitely did fuck us royally with not showing them all on screen together. And it's a shame that Peter Mayhew now is dead. Carrie Fisher's passed away. It's like, damn, guys, you fucked your chance. So yeah, we need and Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau. They understand that.
Yeah.
And they've been giving us what we've deserved.
Yep.
So yeah, I would absolutely. I don't know if we're specifically going to see that, but that would be great.
But it doesn't.
I would love what you just described.
But after having Luke be such an integral part of one episode and not even feel like a big appearance, feel integrated, doesn't tell me that him being it again is going to be a big deal. So then the next mic drop is Han. But if you're doing a Boba Fett series, you obviously have Han Solo in it.
Yeah.
Like, you'd need that moment. That's obviously something that you would write. Because Han would say, well, I'm going to come back, and they're going to, you know, shake hands at the end because they equally fucked each other. You know, we're going to come away and be okay with this. That's such the moment. Because at a certain point, Harrison will be too old to do anything. This is your one chance thematically to have this.
Yeah.
And it's as good a mic drop moment as whatever. And then Luke shows up because you've set that up with Grogu. It's so organic.
Yeah.
And then you have the setup of, you know, Chewie knowing the other Wookiee for some reason. You know, like then you got that fun playoff as well. You know, like Chewie's really small compared to him.
I can never remember his name, but it's Kirstanton. Black Kirstanton.
So you have that as well. And it just makes sense if you've got muscle and it's also thematic as well. That Han comes back to the palace that he was frozen, and Luke comes back to the palace that he shows a Jedi for the first time. So you have them all. Can you imagine that? Mark and all of these guys in the round table on a hologram, in the place that they all change their destiny forever. Thematic, that's so specific. And then you can have in the big hangar, Millennium Falcon, X-Wing, Slave One. It's like, damn, that's a... Oh, and the Naboo Starfighter variant. Like, that's such a... It's so close.
Barkley, do you think we'll get a Luke Skywalker series? I thought that watching the last episode, and I would love it, but that would be quite an undertaking.
That would be too expensive. That would be so... And so people complain every episode about, oh, this Luke was bad. He'll obviously be in the Ahsoka, though. That's a Force-based show. You're obviously going to have Luke in that. But it makes sense. Because Luke is now the epitome of galactic order, who can then come and meld through the shows as the best special guest. So that fits perfectly. Very excited about that.
Guys, before I get to the next Super Chats, 3 more likes get to 110 would be awesome, so hit that like if you haven't.
Yeah, do it.
Paul Thomas, £2. Will either of you be watching the new Halo show? I know I will.
Yes!
And Samuel's super excited for it, so yes,
we
will be.
Really enjoy Halo. I'm not against the fact they've just totally changed the backstory of the show. Because it doesn't matter. I'm okay with that. I love the show. I can love this as well. I thought CGI looked great. I thought the aliens looked great. I thought the Chief looked great, and that's pretty freaking important. Like the most important. No, I thought it looked nice. I love one of the things about the universe that's a bit strange is that obviously it was designed as a single game where you are the hero. And the guns are based on your scale. So when you look at a normal human holding any weapon, it's oversized as fuck. Because they're in perspective to the main guy. So I love the disproportionate look of all the armor because they're big freaking weapons. But it's you can't change that really. I like that as a fun little concept to me. Makes me happy, you know. Paul
Thomas says, "Oh yes, are you going to be doing reviews of these on this channel? If so, I'm tuning in. I'll probably do like first reaction reviews to it, but I don't think we'll be doing full reviews of Halo. If we get the time, we will, and I'm sure we will eventually cover like the first season or something as a whole. But with so much Trek out, it's going to be really hard to micromanage our time. I don't mind doing a 2 or 3 hour live at night talking about the latest episode and just hearing your thoughts and commenting on what you guys think. And that's something that we've kind of been doing more of. So, yeah, it'll be talked about in some form. And yes, Samuel and myself will both address it at some other time when there's less going on. But yes, it is a thing.
No, I think we might do one. Thing is, if we make our minimum super chats every week, that's worth it for us because if it's a great show, right? And I've also got, although in fairness, as a thing to do, you being able to review it as a fresh, me as a massive fan, that is an interesting perspective shift.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
So that would be worth doing. If you guys show up and if you guys help us get our minimum super chats or even a little bit more, we may. I certainly interested to try the first one. When is it? Because like you said, imagine if that comes like during Star Trek Series X and then Orville and then Boba and then boy, the world's changed from movies to TV, haven't they? Because holy hell, it's never been like
David Borich says rumor has announced that in May for a new Luke series called Jedi Knight, which will involve Ben with a recast of Luke by Sebastian Stan. Sebastian Stan looks a lot like a young Mark Hamill for sure, and I know he wants to do the Luke Skywalker thing. That would be more cost effective, obviously, than doing deepfake. Although Sebastian Stan's also made a name for himself, so he's got quite a high paycheck attached with that. But
he's an Avenger.
I would be down for watching that.
March this year, Stuart. That is not far. Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
SPS Guru 2005 Euros.
Thank you.
Mace Windu has miraculously survived. He comes across Boba Fett and ends up decapitating him. It's like poetry. It rhymes.
Wow. And I'll be fair though, I do think we'll either get Mace Windu or we'll get Han in the last episode as the big end of season twist. Yeah. I think those two. But then wouldn't Mace make more sense in the Ahsoka show? Because Samuel will do it. He's now doing the Marvel TV show, Secret War, so he's doing TV. That's boom. Yeah. He's in that level, and Star Wars is going to pay him as well as Marvel because they're the same freaking company. Like, so that would be the place. I do love the idea though that maybe Mace saved Grogu. That works well for me, and he is going to age naturally, so he can just appear as he would because it's been so long. So that's very very cost effective, and I think he'll do it for the fun of it because you can give him a lot of cool stuff. That will happen, just like Boba Fett.
Should an eye patch like.
Yeah.
Fury.
But I do. If you do a Boba Fett show and no fans have wanted that for 50, 60 years, 40 years, then Mace is the equivalent but for the prequels. The exact same. Oh, he's not dead. He grabbed a hold of a thing. Like, no, he's alive.
Brian Trump throws in $20 in a comment, and then throws in another $20 and says, I think Boba been learning how to ride Rancor in the last couple of weeks. Yes. It's going to be a huge impact when he comes out on that Rancor, and the Rancor starts grabbing people in front of him. It's like eating them and taking their heads off and throwing the bot. Like, yes, I really hope to see him riding a Rancor. So, cheers, Brian.
Well, I don't know if they're set up. I don't know if they've announced a season 2 of this. So that's a setup for a payoff, but it might be a season 2 payoff. But then again, last episode was freaking good of Mandalorian season 1 and 2. So. If you're going to throw out all their stops, a big epic...
I think you're going to see crossover. You're going to see Boba Fett show up in The Mandalorian Season 3. Yeah. Because they've obviously established that now. So there's going to be episodes Boba Fett-centric in Mandalorian Season 3 and vice versa, obviously.
It would be funny if episodes 3 and 4 zero Mandalorian because they're just swapping episodes. Like, F Mandalorian!
Yeah. It's a way to make you watch both series because you want to keep what's going on with your character. So it's a good way to draw people to another series.
It's a similar aspect as me doing all my fan films, is that I can then write them in tandem, so I can integrate ideas, characters, whatever. And so if they know they've got like 5 TV shows committed, they can then do these things. I mean, Ahsoka's very minimally in one, and this is a cameo, but it's impactful. Go on a TV show, and then she can appear in other ones. Yeah. It is doubly sad, though, that they had the sequels that ruined Star Wars to a certain amount because they show all the history of everybody. We know how garbage it goes. But this point is so promising. Everyone's lighting this fire in the universe, etc., etc. They've got a window. They do. And maybe they'll do the time travel conceit. You know? I mean, who's to say they can't alter their own timeline, make 2 Star Wars timelines? Because at a certain point, Dave and John may say... You guys made 3 movies, right? Right? We've made 19 seasons of TV. Fuck off. You know, we've made Disney a lot more money. Well, not more money, but we've done a lot more content than you have. We are absolutely we're gonna undo, because that's the thing. If you're a maker of canon, if Dave says I'm gonna do time travel in season 5 of Mando to undo Last Jedi, it's like, okay, there you go, there we go.
Do.
Yeah, please do. Oh my god. Yeah.
Paul Thomas throws in £2. Me, will you review Halo? Sam, were it so easy? Yes. If there was nothing on, we definitely would be reviewing each episode. But with so much Star Trek and the Orville and stuff's coming back, and it's
both
so much.
No, March and June. Yeah, okay.
There's so much going on and overlapping. It's going to be hell. But we're going to address each thing at least, so you guys can talk about it amongst yourselves and in the chat and all that.
Yeah.
And then we'll probably go back and visit like a whole season and discuss what we thought about the season.
Yeah, for sure. And also, that was a very famous Halo quote. Were it so easy?
Yes.
Yes, it's really good scene from Halo 3. Boy, Halo, that's a great. I saw a funny article yesterday that said it listed all the Halo killers, the video games that were poised to be the next Halo, and some of them were good games and had several games, and now they're all like PS3. They're all Sony things, right? And they're all PS3. Well, we're now in PS5. I mean, okay, one was in PS4. One arrived. And Halo is now still making Halos, still updating Halos, making a TV show. Halo Killer clearly didn't win. There ain't no Killzone movie, so... I assume you saw the trailer for the Halo show. What did you think?
Yes.
I didn't think we actually mentioned what you thought.
It looks impressive.
Okay.
I have not played the games really, but I'm well aware of what the stories are about and things like that. So I'm excited to see it from an interesting perspective because I haven't played the games. But like I said, I do know the storylines kind of. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. I'm excited for sci-fi in general now. So I've been watching For All Mankind and a few other things. I'm almost through that series, but. Yeah.
The thing about Halo is that it obviously works when you're a fan of the games and you live in that context. But for a TV audience, there's so many sci-fis that both have their own look, but also can stray into the generic sci-fi look. I'm hoping the Halo show keeps its look, because the thing is, if it just stays faithful to the game, it is a distinct look. The amount of Covenant awesome design work is so good. It's so standout-ish that just to do that would give it some kudos to the average audience. The Halo Marines and such are obviously just sort of more generic mariney, and the guns are good and so I kind of hope they I don't know why this is their one chance. They've tried Halo movies and shows for 10-15 years. This is like finally they did it. James Cameron's director attached for like 6 years, like that. Or Ridley Scott, big deal, right? Just replicate the game in a new form. Don't change what's not broken. These games are not broken. The art design is fantastic. Why would you alienate your old fans and whatever? I don't mind a new story, alternate universe. That's all good. But yeah. No, I'm excited. I hope they have 55 minutes and there's like 10 of them, or 15 or 20. Yeah. Sweet. I think that's...
David Borach says, puts in $10 and says, Amen, Commander.
That's for Last Jedi. Yes. Yeah, those films. Yeah. It's amazing how one episode of Luke training a baby Yoda is better than... Oh, come on. What more like? I mean, would you agree that one episode of Boba Fett was better than all of the trilogy shows?
Yes.
It was just a dude training a puppet. It was a CGI dude training a puppet for 25 minutes. It was better. It was.
Fucking great.
Oh, and isn't Mando's new ship just sexy?
It is, but it's not good for gathering
bounties.
It's
Terrible. But
if you got a long trip, you got no bathroom, you got no armory storage, you got no carbonate carrying storage, if you have a bounty on a big alien, you're not gonna.
But it's sexy.
It's like, it's very hot roddy for sure. And as a car guy, I understand the whole montage of getting that thing ready, and I love that. So I'm taking it for the test drive and telling the officer, just taking it for a test drive. Sorry, I haven't changed the registry yet as to what is under the hood, but I love that because it was so like
relatable.
Yeah, that's what happens. You throw on something new, go out for a test drive, and you get pulled over. And it's like, for fuck's sakes.
That was beautiful. Yeah, I thought that was it's such a good. I mean, I do like that original design. I think you know that as well. It's a nice looking ship, but a testament to the fact that they love the old canon. I mean, oof, oof.
Yeah. Oh, Barky says, by the way, Stuart, I love that Top Gun Danger Zone over the test drive. Yeah, somebody did a video putting Danger Zone from Top Gun over that test drive of Three Beggars Canyon. It's fucking great.
Well, my only... oh, yeah, God, Beggar, that was brilliant. My only note was that why are the two X-Wings in orbit of Tatooine? It's on the outer rim. Just there, chilling.
Because it's awesome.
Okay.
It's awesome.
And also, Paul says, Trekyards, Sam, how much anticipation do you have for seeing the Flood in the new Halo show? Well, we did see them briefly. No, I'm excited. They're real freaking scary. They're a phenomenal zombie variant, in essence, like dumbing it down. No, excited. Hopefully, you know. I mean, I don't know if you ever play the games, but I do remember playing the first game when the Flood appeared for the first time, having no context. It's an amazingly effective scene, really, really top tier. That it's hard to. Hard to relay and relive. It was definitely a nice. Yeah,
I gotta pour another shot. Sorry for cutting you off.
No, it's fine.
Brian dropped $20. I gotta put another shot for that because that's fucking hilarious. Mando's midlife crisis hot rod. Yes, this is the way. He's an empty nester now, so you got more money to spend on. You don't have to spend on the kid. So, cheers to that.
Yeah, no, sure. He lost one of his reasons for being confused in life, and he accepted a very impractical thing. Yeah, no, 100%. It's just so sad. I mean, that scene when they redo the pod race is just masterful. And the irony is, it looked just as good as it did 25 years ago, but that was based on very clever CGI tricks.
The cool thing with the going through the Beggars Canyon, you see the Womp Rat look up and run. You got to remember from Star Wars, I used to bullseye Womp Rats in my T-16 back home, flying through Beggars Canyon. Mm-hmm. You can just picture the T-16 zipping through there and targeting these little Womp Rats. It was great.
Mm-hmm. Although, Nabi Starfighter way more fast, even though it's older, because it's actually a high-end military starfighter. T-16, whichever, is not. It's really not. It's like a dude can afford it fighter, barely.
It's it's basically the equivalent of a hot rod versus a quad, one of the four-wheelers. Because you can see farmers four-wheeling through the woods shooting birds or squirrels, as opposed to a hot rod doing the same thing. So yes,
yeah, it was. And boy, Mando comes out and says "wizard."
How was that, wizard? Yeah.
That's a good kind of cringe.
Yeah. Wizard's not going to happen though. Sorry.
It didn't happen in 1999 or whenever the other one. It's not going to happen 25 years later.
But much cooler character saying it. So hey.
But I just can't help but hear Anakin though.
I know, but I know.
No, it was well, there you go, guys. That's our review of Mandalorian season. Book of Fett. But yeah, that show. Thank you, guys. It's been phenomenal, really fun, and great little epilogue there. That was really a lot of fun. And yeah, maybe I'll join you for next week. I've got to watch it as it comes out, but we can work that out because that might be fun.
I might do one at 5, and then I'll still do my late night one at 10.
Could be fun since we don't have a Thursday one.
Yeah, We'll see how time management goes.
See how it goes as well. If the thing I just said happens, I want to talk about it. I don't get to talk about it otherwise, so... Yeah. Alright, guys. Thank you so much. We will join you next time for Discovery Season 4 Part 2. They're going to find out about the...
DMA.
There we go. I have to remember the hell's happening in the show, because I may have... been forgetting.
Tarka, is Tarka a bad guy or a good guy? Oh, I remember everything. Don't worry.
Good stuff.
I got you, bro.
There you go. All right. Take us out, Stuart.
All right. So until next time, guys. Thank you so much for watching. He is Commander Cockings.
Here's Captain Foley.
And
Okay.
you guys are awesome. We
You
love
are.
you. So thanks for